That's why. I just realized. That's why. Bitch. I see you looking at me. I see you. Girl, it takes everything in me not to do that. Like, bitch, what is the deal? All right, well, once again, it froze. So, bitch, I should have got canes. Jeez, it is this long.
NATO. Now, taken together, these moves mark a major expansion of the Trump administration's trade war, which is expected to raise prices for consumers. So here's a look now at how the Asia Pacific markets are reacting on the eve of the tariff deadline, mostly flat, as you can see there. CNN's Christy Stout is following this live from Hong Kong. So, Christy, uh, there was a lot of pressure on South Korea to get a trade deal done here. So, take us through what was finally secured.
Yeah, the pressure was certainly on to get this deal. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a trade deal with South Korea just before the August 1st tariff deadline. And according to this deal, it involves a 15% tariff on all exports from South Korea. That is down from the 25% tariff rate that was originally due to kick in on Friday on deadline day. It also includes $350 billion worth of investment from South Korea into the U.S. and for South Korea to purchase some $100 billion worth of liquefied natural gas and other U.S. energy products. U.S. President Donald Trump also said this, that U.S. products, including cars,
I know this.
agricultural products, could enter the South Korean market with no import duties. We were able to get additional details about this deal from the U.S. Commerce Secretary, who took to the social platform X to say the following. Let's bring it up for you. From Howard Lutnick, he said South Korea's reciprocal and auto tariff rate will be set at 15%. They'll also not be treated any worse than any other country on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. Steel, aluminum, and copper are not included, and they remain unchanged. Now, on Facebook, we heard from the South Korean president earlier today. From Howard Lutnick, he said South Korea's reciprocal and auto tariff rate will be set at 15%. They'll also not be treated any worse than any other country on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. Steel, aluminum, and copper are not included, and they remain unchanged. Now, on Facebook, we heard from the South Korean president earlier today, who fleshed out more details on the investment package of this trade deal with the United States. And he said this, quote, the $350 billion fund included in the trade agreement will strengthen the foundation for strategic industry cooperation. In particular, $150 billion of this fund is dedicated to shipbuilding cooperation, which will firmly support our company's entry into the U.S. shipbuilding industry, unquote. And the name of this project, and I'm quoting here, is MASCA, or Make American Shipbuilding Great Again. Now, there was, again, a lot of pressure on South Korea to clinch this deal, especially after other key Asian exporters had already done so. Let's show you the regional context here. And as we reported last week, remember the deal that Japan struck with the United States? Japan's deal with the U.S. set the bar at about 15% while offering hefty investment pledges. Philippines and Indonesia, they settled for 19%. Vietnam at 20%. Now, I should mention the latest on Thailand and Cambodia. They've been clashing at the border. A ceasefire was announced earlier this week that was brokered in Malaysia. And we heard from Howard Lutnick in an interview with Fox News saying that a trade deal with both these nations had been reached, but he did not provide any further details. And we are waiting comments from the officials of both these countries, Thailand and Cambodia. And of course, talks with China are ongoing. Look, South Korea is America's seventh largest source of inputs. It's also a key strategic ally. Some analysts have noted the fact that this trade deal did not mention North Korea, did not mention security on the Korean Peninsula, but those topics are likely to come to the fore when the two leaders meet. In fact, U.S. President Donald Trump said that the South Korean leader will pay a visit, quote, in the next 2 weeks. Back to you, Kim.
I appreciate you breaking all that down for us. Christy Stout in Hong Kong. Thanks so much. Meanwhile, the U.S. Federal Reserve has once again left interest rates unchanged, much to the annoyance of President Trump, who's long been demanding rate cuts. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell issues another warning about persistent inflation. The Dow and the S&P closed lower on Wednesday as Wall Street processed Powell's remarks. U.S. futures are now in positive territory. CNN's Matt Egan has our report.
The Fed is not budging. Despite immense pressure from the White House to slash interest rates, Fed officials deciding Wednesday to keep rates exactly where they are. It's the fifth straight meeting where rates are being left unchanged. Now, that's because the Fed is in wait and see mode. They're looking get out of control. Take a listen to what Powell said.
This will not turn out to be inflation because we'll make sure that it's not. We will, through our tools, make sure that this does not move from being a one-time price increase to serious inflation. We want to do that efficiently, and that means we want to do it. If you move too soon, you wind up maybe not getting inflation all the way fixed, and you have to come back. That's inefficient. If you move too late, you might do too unnecessary damage to the labor markets.
So that's a tough position that the Fed finds itself in right now. It's not just the pressure from the White House to fight interest, there's pressure from inside the building as well. Not one, but two of the Chair Jerome Powell's colleagues on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, they dissented. They voted in favor of an interest rate cut. It's the first time since the early 1990s that two Fed governors dissented. But Powell, he's making it clear he's in no rush to cut interest rates, and that he won't be bullied, not even by the president who put him in charge of the Fed in the first season. Now you can see that.
Okay, next stop, maintenance.
Now to Gaza. The UN group says the region is on the brink of full-scale famine. Starving. Which food is unavailable, but its access is blocked. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September. That follows similar announcements from France and the UK. Arab Muslim nations have signed on to a UN declaration calling on Hamas to disarm and relinquish power in Gaza. The statement also says the Palestinian Authority should handle governance and security in all Palestinian territory. And several sources tell CNN that Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will travel to Israel in the day ahead. As it comes, as President Trump announced this week, the U.S. plans to open food centers in Gaza. More now on the situation in Gaza from CNN's Jeremy Diamond.
Well, more humanitarian aid is beginning to make its way into the Gaza Strip and into the hands of the Palestinians. But UN agencies are warning that time is running out to mount a full-scale humanitarian response that can actually begin to alleviate the starvation crisis that is currently gripping Gaza. On Tuesday, about 200 trucks of humanitarian aid were distributed in Gaza, according to Israeli authorities. That's the same level as the day before, but a significant increase from the numbers of trucks that were getting distributed in Gaza last week. This comes after Israel began implementing those tactical deposits, safe distribution routes, all of these forces that the UN and other humanitarian agencies have been calling on Israel to implement for months. And we know that so much of what is happening in Gaza already is going to be very difficult to alleviate. And for many, it will be too late. And inside Gaza, we're also getting a better sense of just how bad the starvation crisis is, with 39% of people now going days at a time without eating, according to the World Food Programme. In Gaza City, in the northern part of the Strip, malnutrition levels among children under 5 have quadrupled in just the last 2 months, with a slew of agencies now describing famine-like conditions in many parts of the Gaza Strip. In addition to that, we are still seeing individuals in Gaza who are being killed by Israeli forces, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, as they are trying to make their way to get aid. So now the question is, can this be alleviated? And of course, we know that those ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas have very much stalled for the time being. So enter into the picture Steve Witkoff, President Trump's special envoy, who's going to be traveling to Israel
Hace nada estaba preguntando por usted.
to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, as well as to see if it's possible to revive the hostage release and ceasefire efforts. Witkoff, before departing for Israel, spoke with the Egyptian foreign minister. They discussed those ceasefire efforts, the entry of humanitarian aid. Egypt, alongside Qatar, of course, are the two key mediators in negotiations. Jeremy Diamond, CNN.
And joining me now is Benjamin Brad, a political scientist and senior fellow at the UCLA Berkeley Center for International Relations. Thank you so much for being here with us. I really appreciate it. I want to start with the declaration from those Arab states calling Hamas disarmed. It's really unprecedented. What makes it so?
Someone will have the key. In fact, you probably killed them already.
is the fact that not only the states they alluded to steps that Israel must take and steps maybe Palestinians must take internally or have aid or resources provided to them. But in this case, it is calling for the competing authority that is in charge of Gaza to disband and to essentially give up their position of power permanently going forward.
Simultaneously.
Well, and basically doing its part of the conflict. In other words, it's holding Hamas accountable. So we rarely understand state hold other states accountable for this issue of Israeli occupation.
So we rarely see them hold Hamas accountable. Despite of them, why are they on this now?
We're seeing increasing footage of the human devastation, the starvation, the crisis, the suffering of Palestinian people and civilians, and the fact that the ceasefire talks from nowhere. It's the pressure of not just Israel and also surrounding nations, allied nations, Western nations, the pressure coming from their congregation, from their citizens, and people can see, I'll see her take for it. I think that really is critical that they amongst the Palestinian leadership up there has to do its part, and then the onus that falls on Israel to really carry out its obligation as a humanitarian and a diplomatic standpoint.
Yeah, I want to get to the pressure on Israel in a second, but on the realism of this, I mean, the Arab League's demanding Hamas hand over weapons to the Palestinian Authority. I mean, that seems pretty far-fetched, doesn't it? They've consistently rejected calls to disarm more and give up control of Gaza, so why would they do that?
Well, the Hamas is dependent upon the support of outside states. It is effectively a non-state actor. It's not really a offer, it's really representative of what Palestinians want. The leadership here has been no election for many, many years. It's the same thing with West Bank, but for now we're focused on Gaza. Hamas depends on their oil and on Iran for support, particularly Qatar and Egypt. And of course, Saudi Arabia carries tremendous weight and legitimacy there for all these sites are located. And a lot of people Islamic the predicating its leadership and justifying its authority on Islamic principles to really support the most prestigious and the most influential Islamic state in the Muslim world is huge. So really, an undermining massive legitimacy.
All right, want to end with this. We're talking about air pressure on Hamas. Want to flip the discussion to focus on the increasing pressure on Israel. We just saw Canada announce it would recognize Palestinian statehood, joining France and the UK. I mean, how important is this beyond the symbolism? Can this sort of squeeze play from both sides to lead to some diplomatic gains and actually force both sides back to the negotiating table?
So there's two angles to this. It is symbolic, it is performative, because what they say in Canada, UK, France, others, what they're not doing is they're not stipulating what Palestinians can be or different stakeholders. How do we get there? This is where governments do believe it should be. How do we get there? What's the transition to a stable and completely free and democratic Palestine? None of that language is there. So for now, it's basically lip service to this law. On the other hand, what it does is demonstrate increasing diplomatic pressure, isolation, facing Israel, even now, the Western world, voices within both the Senate and the House, as well as commentary by President Trump in recent days, indicating that Israel's current strategy of fighting Hamas and Gaza that are devastating this sort of coverage, it's no longer working, and it's unsustainable, and it needs to change. So it's next pressure, likely will, do, I think, it's more of a great issue of provide some relief for the Palestinians there.
Yeah, I certainly think that report on the humanitarian situation certainly underlines the desperation of the need there. Really appreciate getting your expertise on this. Thanks for in Los Angeles. Thank you so much. Thank you. 24 hours after one of the strongest earthquakes on record, the threat of destructive tsunami waves and flooding has largely passed. On the report on Google next. Stay with us.
Well,
lazy bottoms.
Bad news. They have sealed the drainage pipe. You will need to look for another way out of there.
Visit lazybox.com. Doesn't always promote.
Reinforcements incoming. Just because you're fleeing the crime scene of the century does not mean there is no time for opportunistic theft, yes? You like it, you take it.
Story, one beat at a time. African Voices take pictures on CNN.
Gaza, why is leadership failed here? The allegations, this is chilling, stomach churning stuff. Yes, it is. What happens when you're trying to, what happens if you're arrested? Where do you find empathy with some of these traumas? Have you used ChatGPT to write things down? Look you. How does this story shape all of your life?
Yes, you are clear of the compound. This is the final straight. Fight your way through the last guards, and we get out of here. I have to bring this up. Sending you the new coordinate now. Attachments in the water. Be careful. It seems Mr. Rubio has woken up into his nightmare. All over again.
What's at stake? I'll be honest, we have to work with it. And we also dive below the headlines. What do you think the impact of this particular film just for it's preaching we make sense of what's happening. We understand what's at stake. Does Europe have enough forces to control 1,300 kilometers of the line of contact against Russia?
As soon as the others are here, I bring you all in through the airlock, then off into the sunset. Okay, everyone has an exit.
This is my show. Our backstory.
It's
That's what we call a hell of a Saturday night.
Steve,
Be a great captain.
great way for you.
This is what we've been looking for. You never know what you're going to find. It might just change your life.
Let's talk business.
Well, that wasn't worth it.
Middle East. We update you on the latest financial moves across the region, from Dubai to Saudi Arabia, Oman to Egypt. Discover what is transforming the region's economic landscape. Join me for the latest trends and innovations, making investing in the Middle East more attractive.
Marketplace Middle East, this weekend on CNN.
Tsunami alerts are largely canceled across the Pacific now. It's been about 24 hours since one of the strongest earthquakes on record triggered tsunami warnings throughout the region. Will Ripley has more.
Tsunami warnings across the Pacific Ocean. A massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake off Russia's far eastern coast. Waves first slammed into Russia's shoreline towns. Panicked sea lions dove into the ocean as rocks tumbled. Furniture shook inside homes and buildings. The tremors damaged an empty kindergarten. Forcing surgeons to hold down a patient on an operating table. Waves also crashed into the Japanese coastline. People rushed to rooftops
cause for safety. The threat reached parts of South America on Tuesday. Authorities in several countries evacuated coastal areas due to fears of a tsunami. And in the U.S., parts of the West Coast and Hawaii were on edge overnight and into the day.
A lot of anxiety and stress from folks during these type of situations, and the decision of the captain of the port to shut down commercial harbors, to evacuate, to hold vessels off, that's not a decision I take lightly at all.
This ring camera video from a business in Haleiwa shows time-lapse footage of water surging from the waves. Water can be seen getting very close to the deck of Blue Planet Adventure Company. In Hilo, the waves flooded parking lots. U.S. Coast Guard ships went out to sea for safety.
We pre-staged these Coast Guard assets, essentially got them out of the harbor, and in order to be able to quickly respond to any search and rescue cases.
This Coast Guard cutter, the Oliver Berry, just returned to home port here in Honolulu. Advisory for Hawaii has been lifted. The National Weather urges people here and other affected areas to stay cautious. With strong currents, dangerous conditions may continue for the next day or so. Wilbur Lee, CNN at the port of Honolulu, Hawaii.
The key U.S. missile stockpile has taken a big hit. Still ahead, how months of conflict between Israel and Iran may have exposed a gap in America's defenses. Stay with us.
Try to be global and try to be smart. I want to hear authentic voices of people who are passionate, intelligent, and that's the consistency that we try to get at. From Reed Zakaria GPS, Sundays on CNN.
This is CNN.
If you can keep your head when markets all around you are losing and you can't see your trade and not make money your master, meeting triumph and disaster in equal measure. If you can run with the bulls and not be afraid of the bears. For when we come together, we will make sense of it all. And what is more, my friend, you will be profitable. For you are indeed watching West means business.
Blood swept entire neighborhoods like this into the sea.
It's hard for the city. There's many people without a home.
It's unclear what has been hit here. We have seen the warnings. God bless the souls of all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do differently?
The hypocrisy is so rank, folks, at all classes in session.
To talk about the issue,
Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero.
the policies,
What is a Democratic
Classy.
answer that question, and the biggest debates to wrap up your day.
I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
News Night with Abby Phillip.
I see y'all.
Explore Africa.
I see y'all.
Where 54 nations create the fabric of this rich continent. This is really complex. Discover business,
Economic trends. Clearly, you're seeing something here.
nature, and culture. And the stories shaping today.
It's markets around the world. The energy is amazing. It feels so good to be here.
University of Maryland Global Campus isn't just an innovative state school. It's a school for real life, one that values the successes you've already achieved. That's why at UMGC, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and life and job experience. Why we offer scholarships and affordable tuition, and why we have online classes and the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond.
No application fee. Apply by September 3rd at umgc.edu.
I thought you were going to cancel those subscriptions.
I thought I did, but I guess I didn't get them all.
Next time, just use Rocket Money. It shows you all of your upcoming charges in one place, so you know exactly what you're paying for. And you can cancel subscriptions right in the app.
That was pretty easy.
I'm Paul Mosquera in Madrid, Spain, and this...
Lay down.
It is now the eve of the U.S. President's August 1st tariff deadline, and a flurry of new deals have been announced with Asian trading partners, South Korea, Cambodia, and Thailand. Donald Trump says a trade framework with Pakistan is also in place. Meta stock jumped nearly 10% on Wednesday after posting strong earnings. The company's stock has risen 16% since the start of the year. CEO Mark Zuckerberg says as the business performs well, it'll allow them to invest more on artificial intelligence. And Kamala Harris says she won't run for California governor in 2026. The former U.S. vice president and Democratic presidential nominee ends weeks of speculation with the announcement. Harris says she wants to focus on helping Democrats win in next year's midterm elections. She's also expected to embark on a book tour this fall. The U.S. put a major dent in the stockpile of its key anti-missile defenses during last month's conflict between Israel and Iran. Sources say Washington used about a quarter of its THAAD interceptors, only 12 days to protect Israel. As Tamara Kiblawi reports, it could leave a big gap in the U.S. military posture overseas.
Each of these bright lights come from a sophisticated U.S. intercept missile system known as THAAD, being used for the first time in a war to defend Israel as Iranian ballistic missiles rain down. A CNN investigation found that the U.S. missiles, launching more than $1.2 billion worth of the interceptors in just 12 days, and burning through these crucial defense weapons much faster than they're able to make them. When Israel went to war with Iran, it came under the most sustained attack of ballistic missiles in its history. Unless intercepted, those Iranian projectiles can take out entire apartment blocks. Israel shot most of them down, and the U.S. military stepped in to help with the theft. Along with Israel's Arrow 3 and the U.S. Navy's own SM-3 interceptors, sprang into action. Where other systems faltered, American troops on the ground launched THAAD, destroying the incoming missiles just outside the Earth's atmosphere. We know from sources that more than 100 THAAD interceptors, as many as 150, were used during the war. But only 11 THAAD missiles were commissioned by the U.S. government last year, according to official budget numbers. 12 are being built this year, and in 2026, production is expected to ramp up to 37, meaning it could potentially take years to replenish the stockpile used against Iran in less than 2 weeks. And it's not just hard to replace, it's expensive. THAAD launches cost around $12.7 million a pop. A THAAD interceptor missile is over 20 feet long and weighs around 1,500 pounds. Each system takes more than 95 U.S. Army specialists to operate, making it one of the most complex weapons in the U.S. arsenal. We spoke to several former defense officials who say that the war has only deepened a problem that the Pentagon has faced for years. Faster than they're being built. There's not enough systems, there's not enough interceptors, and there's not enough production, and there are not enough people working on it. Analysts say the stockpile depletion could impact U.S. air defenses where they may be critical, in the Asia-Pacific region.
The idea is that China can erect anti-access area denial bubble to keep the U.S. Navy at arm's length in the event that it wished to intervene in, for example, Taiwan. From a narrowly military standpoint, Chinese are absolutely the winners here.
Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson said the U.S. military is, quote, the strongest it has been and has everything it needs to conduct any mission, anywhere, anytime, all around the world. Mara Kablawi, CNN, London.
Thousands of fans line the streets of the home of heavy metal. Just ahead, Birmingham, England honors and says goodbye to late Ozzy Osbourne.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, and photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs,
At least I don't.
or the LegacyBox.com. When your dog's superhero moment, hero sign.
Nail, you want to press it?
Pumpkin Now, the urgent pay service from Pumpkin Pet Insurance, can pay you for eligible care before you pay the vet. Ask your vet about Pumpkin or visit pumpkin.care and see Superman only in theaters July 11th.
I'm Manu Raju on Capitol Hill. This is CNN.
How do we connect you with stories from around the globe? We're on the ground to follow the facts. We examine big ideas, we let diverse perspectives flow and ignite conversations that matter most to bring the world to you. Stay informed, stay connected, stay invested. From our studios in Abu Dhabi, join me for Connect the World with Becky Anderson.
Weekdays on CNN.
In December 2021, the Wine Ark opened its doors as a brand home for Black-owned wine businesses.
So I came to visit this facility in 2015 and I saw the potential. So when you stand on this deck of ours and you overlook Stellenbosch, it says the authentic story of Stellenbosch, our authentic diversified cultures all coming together and being part of this unique industry.
For Stellenbosch winemaker Carmen Stevens, the launch of the Wine Ark is a welcome initiative.
It's the first home or brand home for black-owned brands in South Africa. It's giving us that space where people can come sit down and enjoy our wines. It is such a fantastic initiative, and it shows how it shows where we as black-owned brands are coming from.
What do you think on the list?
Here I come.
Get your cameras ready.
Ready. Wow. That's a fun.
Every single species play a very important role in the whole ecosystem.
Why wouldn't we want our children to fall in love with nature?
We don't have to years to make a difference.
Despite the damage we've done, we still have a wonderful natural component.
Don't give up. Let's do it. We can make it. For the people, health and hope.
Celebrating 5 years of connecting Africa with a special show in Nigeria.
For reflections on where we've been.
COVID-19 was a wake-up call.
The young people transforming its future.
We have $11 billion worth of assets under our protection.
We've witnessed the biggest deals and innovation in business across Africa. We look back to stories driving the continent forward.
Connecting Africa, only on CNN, in association with Affection Bank.
Australia is set to ban access to YouTube for children under 16 later this year. It comes after the government had originally promised to spare the video sharing platform from being included in a crackdown on social media sites. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and more have to prevent children from creating accounts or face hefty fines. The YouTube spokesperson says they will, quote, consider next steps and will continue to engage with the government on the matter. New laws that take effect in December. People in Birmingham, England showed up in force to honor Ozzy Osbourne. The city is considered the home of heavy metal, and that's where his band Black Sabbath formed in 1968. Osbourne became the group's frontman in the 70s. CNN entertainment reporter Elizabeth Wagmeister has this remembrance of the man known as the Prince of Darkness.
Thousands of fans lined the street in Birmingham, England to honor the life and legacy of Ozzy Osbourne. The funeral procession came 1 week after the rocker died. Now, no cause of death was given, but at the time his family had said that he passed surrounded by love. Now, his family members were seen at this funeral procession. His wife, Sharon Osbourne, visibly moved, very emotional and crying throughout the procession. Now, the Lord Mayor of Birmingham honored Ozzy and explained why they wanted to hold this funeral procession, also revealing that the family paid for this procession. Here is part of what he said. He said that Osbourne was, quote, more than a music legend. He was a son of Birmingham. His statement went on to say, quote, it was important to the city that we support a fitting, dignified tribute ahead of a private family funeral. We know how much this moment will mean to his fans. Now, Ozzy obviously kept his fans close to his heart in his final days. In fact, his final performance was on July 5th, just weeks before he had passed in his hometown of Birmingham. Back in 2023, Ozzy Osbourne spoke to Rolling Stone UK saying that he wanted to perform just one more time before he passed. Here is what he said, quote, if I can't continue doing shows on a regular basis, I just want to be well enough to do one show where I can say, hi guys, thanks so much for my life. That's what I'm working towards, and if I drop down dead at the end of it, I'll die a happy man. While Osbourne was able to get that final wish with that July 5th performance, he was not able to walk, so they constructed a throne-like chair, very fitting for him, and he was able to perform on stage one last time in front of thousands of adoring fans. Now, back in 2020, Osbourne had revealed his Parkinson's disease diagnosis, and he also had endured a series of spinal surgeries. So his health issues were well documented in those final years, but still, his death at 76 coming as a surprise. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much for watching CNN Newsroom. I'm Kim Brunhuber. I'll be back with more news at the top of the hour. World Sport is next.
It is a busy news day all around the world.
This is One World.
The world's top headlines with some of the world's biggest players.
That was so
Stories that captivate from two unique perspectives. Zain Asher and Biana Golodriga use their extensive experience to cover global news with passion and intellect.
Walk us through what specifically Secretary of State Marco Rubio was talking about. What leverage, if any, does Prime Minister Netanyahu have at this point?
One World with Zain Asher and Biana Golodriga. Weekdays on CNN.
Discover the land of the rising sun From the vibrant streets of Tokyo to the enchanting landscapes, come explore Japan with students and experience the best of this rich nation.
A desire to create timeless beauty everywhere. Appreciate the opportunity to sit down with you.
An epic adventure to Japan's remote corners.
Join me, Larry Nadomo, as I introduce you to Africa's trendsetters. See how they use their talent, resources, and passion to make a difference on the continent. This is African Voices Changemakers.
Jaggery Chanda and Otem Alpha are telling Africa's rich story, one beat at a time.
You can't put boundaries on music. It's a spiritual thing.
African Voices Changemakers on CNN.
I'm Gabriela Frias in Mexico City, and this is CNN. Why, particularly in Gaza, why is leadership failed here?
Selfish, short-term interest.
The allegations, this is chilling, stomach-churning stuff.
Yes, it is. What happens, Maria Machado? What happens if you're arrested?
Well, we're taking one day at a time.
What would it take, Mr. President, for Serbia to acknowledge Kosovo's independence?
And it is here, on these grounds, St. Peter's Square, that his funeral will be held. This is what 18 months of war has done for the children of Gaza. Where do you find empathy with some of these bureaucrats? Haven't you tried to write any songs?
Look here. The genocide in Rwanda made you almost quit photography. Tell us about that moment. How does this story shape all of you who are the future?
Today, we live in an unpredictable environment, and news races around the world at breakneck speed.
How do you feel being in here with these badly wounded soldiers? I was just being criticized for how I look.
My show brings you the latest news and top news makers.
What do you want people to know about mortality?
These scenes have been the most emotional scenes for Syrians. It's corny to say, but it's about love. It's the only thing worth living for.
Amanpour, weekdays on CNN.
In a divided America,
Where do I fit?
you certainly ask your partner. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do different?
But hypocrisy is so rampant that all classes in session to talk about the issues. Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero. The policies. What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question?
Now, Trump is prime. Scary ass shit. Even when I saw his ass coming down the block, I was straighten up.
Abby Phillip tonight on CNN.
Abu Dhabi to the world. We're empowering the next generation of global journalists. Welcome to CNN Academy. We have 140 students all around the world. We've delivered more than 1,000 hours of immersive learning and hands-on training. It's been an incredible week. Partnering with leading media organizations and universities from across the world. We've brought the newsroom to the classroom. Find out more at academy.cnn.com.
Let's talk Christmas. This is Marketplace Middle East, where we update you on the latest financial news across the region. From Dubai to Saudi Arabia, Oman to Egypt. We're transforming the region's economic landscape. Driving the latest trends and innovations, making investing in the Middle East more exciting. Marketplace Middle East this weekend on CNN.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Lunch Sport here in London with me. Copa America Femenina final is now set with defending champions Brazil securing their place in the decider against Colombia and what's set to be a rematch of the 2022 final. 8-time winners Brazil advance to their comprehensive 5-1 win over Uruguay in Tuesday's second semi-final. Amanda Gutierrez scoring twice for last year's Olympic runners-up. She combined with Marta in the 11th minute to put her side 1-0 up with her head.
So we're good to go, I think.
together, so you've all got to get over there. I want this operation over and forgotten about as quickly as possible, so the amount you're paid will depend on how fast it's done. I hope money's a good motivator for you. Ground team, I'm gonna run you through your specialized equipment for the mission. 1. Night vision goggles. When we trigger the EMP, if the lights go out, you'll need to be able to see. 2. Rebreather. You're going out through a cooling tunnel. The rebreather's compact, and it'll give you enough oxygen to make the surface. 3. Flare gun. When you make the beach, shoot a flare and the chopper crew will fix your coordinates. 4. Parachute for the drop. 5. Special carbine with suppressor. 6. Pump shotgun with suppressor. 7. Grenades. 8. Sticky bombs. 5 through 8 you should be familiar with already. Pilot, gunner, here's what you're carrying. Parachutes, just in case. Grenades, just in case. And sticky bombs, just in case. And we're giving you night vision goggles too. Okay? Alright. You know as well as I do, this operation is the product of hundreds of man-hours and millions of dollars. Unless you believe in string theory and an infinite multiverse, this is our only shot at this. All that work, all that money, for everything, or nothing. That's a lot of pressure for 4 people to shoulder, but pressure can turn shit into diamonds. Or it can turn diamonds into dust. What's it gonna be today? I've got faith in you. Else, much as you can have faith in a ragtag bunch of reprobates, hastily assembled and motivated solely by their greed. Well, their greed and their bloodlust. You don't talk much. Probably don't listen either. But you're effective tools. Let's see if you can plug one last hole for me. Be my tool one last time. Side-facing minigun placements are in the rear. High-cal explosive rounds in the co-pilot's seat. Keep in mind there's a longer fire return interval on that one. Ground team, you take the last 2 positions in the bird and you get ready to jump. drop zone, and for your bird's electrics to be clear of the EMP. When you're above the lab, we trigger the pulse. Power down there goes out, and the ground team can jump. Chopper team will hold position above the lab, trying to stop the ground team getting swamped inside. Triggering the EMP. Get ready to jump. You're clear to drop. Go, go, go! Ground team, time to switch to night vision. Okay, ground team, let's go. Blow the doors and get into the lab. What we need is being stored in a research station in the center of the facility. Move quickly, get through the lab, and get us that data. Looks like some systems are running on an emergency generator. As long as the main switch is off, that won't cause us problems. Keep moving and be ready for resistance. You're no good to us dead. Not quite yet. You should be coming up on the research station. The network infrastructure in that place is state-of-the-art. It won't take you long to pull the data. Transfer's complete. Go down the corridor, get in the elevator. Keep going. You need to get to the cooling tunnel. That'll take you out to the sea. Lucky for you, the guards dropped some flares by the pool. Look out for them. sure to let them know where you are when you reach land. Chopper should be inbound. Get ready.
She's all yours.
Okay, now, fly out to the lab, gaining altitude. You'll need to be high for the ground team to hit their drop zone, and for your bird's electrics to be clear of the EMP. When you're above the lab, we trigger the pulse. Power down there goes out, and the ground team can jump. Chopper team will hold position above the lab, trying to stop the ground team getting swamped inside. Triggering the EMP. Get ready to jump. You're clear to drop. Go, go, go.
Trade framework in place with Pakistan, as well as new trade deals with Cambodia and Thailand. Trump also signed an executive action imposing 15% tariffs on certain copper products like those critical for national security, and he carried out his threat of slapping 15% tariffs on Brazil effective Friday for political, not economic reasons. So Trump is blatantly trying to punish Brazil for refusing to end its trial against its ally over right-wing President Jair Bolsonaro. All right, so taken all together, these mark a major expansion of the Trump administration's trade war, which is expected to raise prices to consumers. Here's a look at how the Asia-Pacific markets are reacting on the eve of the tariff deadline. You can see mostly in the red there. Christine stepped by from Hong Kong. So Christine, there was a lot of pressure on South Korea to get a trade deal. So take us through what was finally secured.
You're right, and there was a lot of pressure on South Korea to get this deal across the line. U.S. President Donald Trump announced a trade deal with South Korea just before the August 1 tariff deadline. And he says that this deal includes a 15% tariff on all exports from South Korea. That's down from the 25% tariff rate that was originally going to kick in on Friday. Now, this deal also includes $350 billion in investment from South Korea into the United States, and also South Korea purchased about $100 billion worth of U.S. energy products, including liquefied natural gas. Now, Trump also said that South Korea would accept U.S. products like trucks, like cars, and agricultural products without import deduction. For context, from the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick on X first this year, President on his comments specifically said, quote, South Korea's reciprocal and auto growth rate will be at least 15%. It will also not be treated any worse than any other country on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. Steel, aluminum, copper are not included and remain unchanged. So very critical points there raising that additional sector tariffs not being applied on South Korea. On Facebook, this morning we saw post from South Korean president who fleshed out the investment side of this deal. And this is what he said, quote, $50 billion fund included the trade agreement will strengthen the foundation for strategic industry cooperation. In particular, $150 billion of this fund is dedicated to shipbuilding cooperation, which will firmly support our company's entry into the U.S. shipbuilding industry, unquote. And the name of this project is NASDAQ, or quote, Make American Shipbuilding Great Again, unquote. Now, again, a lot of pressure for South Korea to reach this deal. It indeed reached this deal and reaching it on par. And remember last week, Japan was able to secure that deal, 15% tariffs, including investments. Back to you.
All right, so that's the 7% gap. But India, I mean, a much higher tariff rate threat there. President Trump had other words for that matter.
Yeah, very much so. U.S. President Donald Trump sought a tariff threat. I should point out a tariff threat about 25% on India, and he also went on to slam India for high trade barriers and for purchasing Russian energy and purchasing Russian military equipment as well. Now, this tariff is going to be in place until August 1st. Again, that is the tariff deadline, unless India can find a way to negotiate itself out of it. 25% is a very high tariff rate, especially when you compare it to other economies in Asia, where the tariff rate is about 15%. Or a little bit more, but not 25% of the credit. That's
I appreciate you spending Hong Kong. Thanks so much.
You got it.
All right, and Ukraine's capital was rocked by explosions as Russia launched new attacks overnight. Have a look at this. Video shows massive blasts as residential buildings took a hit. Sirens and gunfire can also be heard as fireballs lit up the city skyline. Russia is continuing their strikes despite the new deadline from US President Donald Trump. Monday, President Trump gave the Kremlin up to 12 days to agree to a ceasefire or face new sanctions, possibly secondary tariffs. On the front lines, Russia has been making piecemeal advances for months, but its summer offensive is now shifting into high gear. Big Wall went to Ukraine's Donetsk region and saw firsthand how quickly the territory is changing hands.
After dusk, the war has fallen silent for a decade. This tiny military medical unit near the town of Cross, which Russia is close to encircling, is waiting for patients. Total darkness required just for survival. That bright light, we're told, is a Russian spotter drone. And look at how their other attack drones riddle the dark. Iranians aiming at Russian drones.
We just have to keep every kind of light source or heat source indoors in case Russian drones are passing over their areas. It makes it impossible to go outside this unit to welcome in the wounded. Instead, listening to the eerie noise in the dark, trying to work out what's a threat and what's not. But imagine how hard it must be for those actually at the front lines, trying to bring wounded out with constant drones above them. And that one landed so close, you can actually smell explosive in the night air.
The medics tell us this is a quiet night in the skies, but no injured here is no relief.
The fact that we haven't had patients tonight isn't necessarily a good thing. I mean, they can't get out.
Yes, of course. Очень часто нам сообщают, что есть мировая еда, но напоминает что либо к трем, за ней могла поехать машина, где она была подбита, как я говорил. Даже бронированная техника не гарантирует то, что будет произведена своевременная эвакуация.
Dawn is when the injured usually come, when the changing light disrupts drone cameras. But the only patients, 6 men with suspected concussion after their vehicle was hit by a drone on the road. Drove straight here. Some of the badly wounded trapped, as this video shows. Ukrainian wounded evacuated here 2 days earlier by police from the front line. Their injuries infected after the long wait. Stop at night. We rushed to our car to leave. There's a problem.
Let's go. Drop any Merryweather units coming after you, then get out of there.
The other brazen out. So on dark star, we just noticed that we were running away from the drone. And so we're trying to get out.
There's more coming at you. Look out.
Our vehicle is under a tree. The SUVs are a priority target. We managed. The need to leave. You have to abandon your life. It's not something This is the video where yesterday the bus service ran, but today it's cancelled. The way out is with the police in an armoured van. The drones closing in fast. Particularly as you live in this morning. Checks the machine, biggest what's next? It's happened that fast. Days before, Russian drones struck many civilian targets like this action. But every day, the map of where the east can go is changing. This is Vidya, the flame Russian troop from its edges. It's taking out those who didn't see things change so fast.
You clear? All right, then I'm done. Meet my contact at the Land Act Reservoir. You'll be paid. You know, I've lost a lot of operatives in the field. I'm happy you weren't some of them.
I recognise that one is flying above the same road they are on. The escape options are shrinking rapidly. Ukraine normally catches Moscow off guard, but now Russia's offensive is shifting around beneath their feet.
Okay.
Perhaps
Keep
irreversible.
in front. It's time to put
They
the
wait
twins back in the
to
box
see
and go to bed.
it.
Bring me to right now, I'll give you a debrief. You want to be paid, don't you? That's what this was about. Not just a shooting and the explosions. You've done good work. Made this country safer. This is not me. I've gotta like you.
So far, administration doesn't know.
You have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degraded.
Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs of Drive Robocop. Legacy Box is simple and simple. And satisfies customers. Visit legacybox.com. Plus, slide rates. Today's service for home insurance and pay you for eligible care before you pay the veterans. Care.com, care, and CC. It's not up for Susan. African Forces Change Makers on CNN.
When I ran agents in the field, I had to entrap them, cajole them, threaten them with deportation. You're never gonna know what I had to do. Now, apparently, all you gotta do is give them a couple bucks and a few kind words. I guess there really is no accounting for stupidity. But, and I'm serious now, as stupid as you are not gonna talk about what happened here. Because your usefulness to us, well, it just ran out. And for God's sake, I hope you're professional enough to get rid of the evidence.
My show brings you the latest news and top newsmakers. Do you feel the Trump administration understands what's at stake? I'll be honest, we have to work on it. What do you want? And we also dive below the headlines.
House of ill fame. For the house of ill fame.
It's crucial we make sense of what's happening and fully understand.
Hello. Buenos noches. ¿Cómo estás?
Of a line of contact against Russia.
I know you're not waiting on me.
That's what we call hell of a Saturday. Steve.
Be a great captain.
Girl, they said it was boring. Okay.
One day at a time, keep moving forward.
Well,
This is what we've been looking for.
no.
You never know what you're going to find. It might just change your life.
Celebrating 5 years of connecting Africa with a special show in Nigeria.
For reflections on where we've been.
COVID-19 was a wake-up call.
To the young people transforming its future.
We have 11.
We've witnessed the biggest deals and innovation in business across Africa. Join us as we look back at the stories driving the continent forward.
Connecting Africa, only on CNN, in association with Afrexim Bank.
The U.S. Geological Survey says more than 100 significant aftershocks have occurred near Russia in the hours following one of the strongest earthquakes on record. 3 of those tremors have been a magnitude 6 or greater, with the strongest reaching 6.9. Wednesday's powerful 8.8 magnitude quake raised fears of destructive tsunami waves throughout the Pacific. Places as far away as South America were on alert. The Galapagos Islands saw waves more than a meter higher than normal tide levels. Tsunami alerts are largely canceled across the region now. waves remained relatively small and in most places avoided major damage. CNN meteorologist Chris Warren has more on the quake's incredible strength and its aftermath.
An earthquake this strong is certainly going to produce even more aftershocks. An 8.8 magnitude earthquake. That ties for the sixth strongest earthquake on record in recorded history. And there have already been some strong aftershocks in the region, with more anticipated, which is normal. In general, with one this strong, you can expect the high-end aftershocks. You see one, but several getting that 6.8 to the 5.8. You can see on average about 100. They've already been over 100 aftershocks, and a lot of those in the stronger category. But as far as the tsunami goes and how it formed, it's not just the shaking, it's what caused the shaking.
I forgot all about that.
This was a thrust from the Earth. So this was subduction zone here, tectonic plates coming together, converging together, one going under the other, and there's displacement here. So a big part of a tectonic plate goes up and essentially bumps the water from underneath. So instead of waves that are wind-driven, which are most of them, including swells, most of the waves that we see that pushes the water, this is from underneath. So as the water is moving across, or as the wave is going across the ocean, you may not even notice it if you're on a boat, but this, as it goes and gets closer to land, it actually starts to go up. It's the land and the shallower water that gets the wave being pushed up. So when the tsunami warning was issued, you can see it takes several hours, almost 20 hours in some cases in the southern hemisphere, from the point of origin for those waves to get across. So with that, we have seen some of the rises up to 3 feet there at Midway, Kahului and Maui. That's almost 6 feet. That's the highest one, that 5.7 that we saw in the United States. And along the West Coast, also seeing up to 4 feet in Crescent City.
The Trump administration's Environmental Protection Agency wants to repeal a scientific finding that showed human-caused climate change endangers people's health and safety. Regulations that protect the environment and decrease climate pollution from cars, power plants, and the oil and gas industry are based on that scientific report in 2009. But the EPA's repeal could reduce the federal government's most powerful way to fight climate change and control the country's global warming pollution. The agency's proposal is based in part on a report by 5 researchers who spent years questioning the impacts of climate change. I want to bring in Henna Hundal, who's a delegate to the UN Climate Change Conferences, and she's in Lafayette, California. Good to see you again. So here, the EPA is essentially stripping away its own power to fight climate change. So help our viewers understand what's happening here. I sort of sketched it out in the intro, but can you break down what this so-called endangerment finding actually is and why it matters so much?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Kim. I appreciate being with you. So this endangerment finding is essentially the connective tissue between climate science and climate law. It takes us all the way back to 2007, when the Supreme Court, in the case Massachusetts versus EPA, ruled that qualify as air pollutants under the Clean Air Act. And it really left it up to the administrator of the EPA to determine whether or not they also endanger public health. And so out of that was born the endangerment finding in 2009, which is essentially a 2-part rule. The first part states that the increasing atmospheric concentrations of 6 greenhouse gases, including methane and carbon dioxide, endanger the health and well-being of current and future generations. And the second part to that rule is that emissions from new motor vehicles and engines contribute to air pollution that further endangers public health. So this is really a matter of public health, welfare, and safety. And that's why it's so critical that the EPA actually take action vis-a-vis this rule, and therefore why it's so disheartening to see the current EPA stripping its own authority on this front.
All right, so we're talking sort of grand, themes here in terms of health, welfare, and safety, but let's drill down in the specifics here. If this proposal goes through, what does it actually mean concretely? Are we talking about dirtier air, more extreme weather? I mean, how will people actually feel it in their daily lives?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have 2 main tools in our toolbox to actually fight climate change. That is climate change mitigation and climate change adaptation. Now, that first tool, climate change mitigation, is in fact curbing greenhouse gas emissions. That's how we do it. And so really by repealing this engagement finding, which is what the EPA wants to do, we're essentially mixing that first tool in our toolbox. Now the second tool, adapting to climate change, meaning are we actually enabling kind of a full-scale coordinated strategy to adapt to the impacts of climate change in here and now? Well, it really doesn't seem like the Trump administration has that ongoing right now. So we're essentially being left bereft of the two tools that we need to actually make a difference on this issue. That's why it's so concerning.
Yeah, and of course the timing is pretty striking here. This comes right after the top court said that countries have to follow through on their climate commitments. We saw the EU and China just announce a joint climate agreement. I mean, how isolated does this leave the U.S. on the world stage?
You know, that's such a great point, Kim. I mean, this could not come at a more important inflection point. We just had, for example, as you mentioned, the European Union and China release a joint statement calling for stability in our climate agreements. They did not directly mention the United States, but of course that was sort of a jab at the ways that President Trump has tried to renege on climate promises that the United States has made on the international stage. For example, trying to take the U.S. out of the Paris Agreement on the very first day in office of his second term, which he also tried to do in his first term. We also know that the International Court of Justice, as you mentioned, the UN's top court, issued an advisory opinion, which is non-binding, but it could really have persuasive elements for member states to adopt in determining whether their own countries are following along with international law. And it really reaffirmed the importance of countries following through on these climate commitments and really reinforce that a clean environment is a human right. So in all of these domains, the U.S. right now is really out of step.
Yeah, and we know environmental groups are promising to fight all of this, and your state, California, certainly will be key in the battles to come. We'll have to leave it there. Hannah Hundle, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it.
Well, key U.S. missile stockpile has taken a big hit. Still ahead, how last month's conflict between Israel and Iran may have exposed a gap in America's defenses.
That post of CNN Decoded, and today we are at Vivatech in France to show you some of the tech. Okay.
First up, thermo-regulated smart clothing that will keep you warm no matter the weather or activity.
I can literally feel it heating my back right now.
Next, say goodbye to joysticks and gamepads. This mini trampoline combines physical activity with the world of video games.
Oh, top 80. I feel like that's not the best score.
Lastly, does it look good? An EEG band that uses neurofeedback and music to train your brain to help monitor and master stress levels.
I'm going to go in Nairobi, Kenya, and it's theater.
Eyes up here. Putting on the suit as Superman, I think you feel a lot more vulnerable. It's just you out there in the tights. The cape helps, but still, it was a nerve-wracking experience walking out for the first time for all to see. Anytime you're going to see a film is you want to see some vulnerability and you want to see some characters who are in danger and might lose. Strong characters are all the more exciting and impressive when you see how much of a struggle it is and how much it costs them to be strong.
He has always represented goodness and hope and kindness and looking.
That they have a food catering company on site that serves
This is a 24-hour viral braiding shop. It's called Nadine's Hair Braiding, and it's located in Bowie, Maryland. This place is massive. It seats over 150 customers, and she has over 400 braiders. And this is the owner, Nadine. She's from Cameroon, Central Africa, and came to America with $50. And now she has $1 million braiding empire. They designed this shop like a factory. Multiple braiders work on you at the same time. So what normally takes 8 hours now gets done in 2.5 hours. And here's the crazy part. They're open 24/7 and never close. They provide their own hair so you don't have to bring your own. They have a VIP lounge if you want a private and exclusive setting. They have a food catering company on site that serves Cameroonian dishes so the braiders can eat together and eat healthy. They have a special area just for kids. No appointments needed. They always accept walk-ins. Because of how fast, affordable, and efficient they are, people travel from everywhere just to get their hair braided here. If Nadine, an immigrant from Cameroon, can go from $0 to building $1 million empire, then you should know anything is possible. Comment below if you would visit Nadine's braiding shop.
All right. All right.
This is a 24-hour viral braiding shop. It's called Nadine's Hair Braiding, and it's located in Bowie, Maryland. This place is massive. It seats over 150 customers, and she has over 400 braiders. And this is the owner, Nadine. She's from Cameroon, Central Africa, and came to America with $50. And now she has $1 million braiding empire. They designed this shop like a factory. Multiple braiders work on you at the same time. So what normally takes 8 hours now gets done in 2.5 hours. And here's the crazy part. They're open 24/7 and never close. They provide their own hair so you don't have to bring your own. They have a VIP lounge if you want a private and exclusive setting. They have a food catering company on site that serves Cameroonian dishes so the braiders can eat together and eat healthy. They have a special area just for kids. No appointments needed. They always accept walk-ins. Because of how fast, affordable, and efficient they are, people travel from everywhere just to get their hair braided here. If Nadine, an immigrant,
Girl, why I need to go there, bitch?
$0 to building $1 million.
For people that are,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to go there, bitch. I don't know when and how, but I'm gonna try to go.
Those things are the most rebellious and extreme attributes you can have in a world that is so much like that.
Laura Coates Live, we cover it all. Will you take this all the way to the Supreme Court?
I'm not refuting a syllable of what you said.
What do you say to people who are looking to find their voice? All the news, all of Laura Coates Live, tonight on CNN.
25 years of Inside Africa. Celebrate its culture, its people, its flavor, its heritage. 25 years of compelling stories.
The impact I want to have is to show the real Africa.
The trailblazers, the youth, Africa's present and future. Celebrate Inside Africa in association with Zenith Bank.
Let's talk business. This is Marketplace Middle East, where we update you on the latest financial moves across the region. From Dubai to Saudi Arabia, Oman to Egypt. Discover what is transforming the region's economic landscape. Join me for the latest trends and innovations, making investing in the Middle East more attractive.
Marketplace Middle East this weekend on CNN.
Gatorade Zero has the #1 proven electrolyte blend with zero sugar, designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Is it in you?
Sometimes say big to something with a bundle that has something for everyone.
Here we go, boys.
Disney Plus and ESPN Plus bundle. It's awesome. You get it all for less, with plans starting at just $16.99 a month. This is CNN.
Welcome back. I'm Kim Brunhuber. This is CNN Newsroom. We have more now on Friday's upcoming tariff deadline imposed by President Trump. He's now lashing out at India and Russia after failing to strike trade deals with both countries to this point. The president posted on social media, quote, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care." Along with the threat of a 25% tariffs on India, he's also considering what he calls a penalty over its continued purchases of Russian oil. And President Trump is also taking aim at Canada over its support for Palestinian statehood, warning, quote, "That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them." The U.S. put a major dent in its stockpile of its key anti-missile defenses during last month's conflict between Israel and Iran. Sources say Washington used about a quarter of its THAAD interceptors in only 12 days to protect Israel. And as Tamara Kiblawi reports, could leave a big gap in the U.S. military posture overseas.
Each of these bright lights come from a sophisticated U.S. intercept missile system known as THAAD, being used for the first time in a war to defend Israel as Iranian ballistic missiles rain down. A CNN investigation found that the U.S. military cut deeply into its stockpile of THAAD missiles, launching more than $1.2 billion worth of the interceptors in just 12 days, and burning through these crucial defense weapons much faster than they're able to make them. When Israel went to war with Iran, it came under the most sustained attack of ballistic missiles in its history. Unless intercepted, those Iranian projectiles can take out entire apartment blocks. Israel shot most of these down, and the U.S. military stepped in to help with the THAAD. As Iran launched its missiles towards Israel, THAAD, along with Israel's Arrow 3 and the U.S. Navy's own SM-3 interceptors, sprang into action. Where other systems faltered, American troops on the ground launched THAAD, destroying the incoming missiles just outside the Earth's atmosphere. We know from sources that more than 100 THAAD interceptors, as many as 150, were used during the war. But only 11 THAAD missiles were commissioned by the U.S. government last year, according to official budget numbers. 12 are being built this year. And in 2026, production is expected to ramp up to 37. Meaning it could potentially take years to replenish the stockpile used against Iran in less than 2 weeks. And it's not just hard to replace, it's expensive. THAAD launches cost around $12.7 million a pop. A THAAD interceptor missile is over 20 feet long and weighs around 1,500 pounds. Each system takes more than 95 U.S. Army specialists.
Hello.
Weapons in the U.S. arsenal. We spoke to several former defense officials who say that the war has only deepened a problem that the Pentagon has faced for years. Stockpiles are dropping. We need more. We need them faster than they're being built. There's not enough systems, there's not enough interceptors, and there's not enough production, and there are not enough people working on it. Analysts say the stockpile depletion could impact U.S. air defenses where they may be critical, in the Asia-Pacific region.
The idea is that China.
Right time, okay? Now I'm looking right at you. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs. Let me tell you what my baby needs. He needs him an old fat guy. Make good cakes. Make some smothered turkey wings. Who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay? And gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. No. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. When they want you to go for a fourth round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah. Because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that fourth round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared to do and I know old gal, she'll be good to you. Her name is Elladora. Now I'm looking right at her.
Elladora. Come on, Elladora.
He need him an old fat gal. and bake good cakes. Make some smothered turkey wings. Who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay? And gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. Nigga, this is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you know you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. So when they want you to go for a fourth round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah. Because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that fourth round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. And I know old gal should be good to you. Her name is Ella Doran. Now I'm looking right at her. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs, okay?
And erect an anti-access area denial bubble to keep the US Navy at arm's length in the event that it wished to intervene in, for example, Taiwan. From a narrowly military standpoint, the Chinese are absolutely the winners here.
Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson said the U.S. military is, quote, the strongest it has been and has everything it needs to conduct any mission, anywhere, anytime, all around the world. Tamara Qiblawi, CNN, London.
Travelers across the UK faced major headaches after technical problems at air traffic control centres disrupted flights. Edinburgh Airport in Scotland and both Heathrow and Gatwick airports in London were among those affected. Flights were disrupted for about 4 hours due to a radar-related issue. Britain's air traffic control provider said the problem was fixed by switching to a backup system, and flights later resumed. The outage also caused delays in other European cities that rely on connections through the UK. The National Transportation Safety Board hearing got underway Wednesday to determine what caused a deadly mid-air collision earlier this year. 67 people died when an Army helicopter and a passenger plane collided on January 29th near the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. CNN aviation correspondent Pete Montine has more.
For the deadliest crash involving a U.S. commercial flight in 2 decades, a hearing of unprecedented scope, 3 days of testimony, 200 new documents, and 10,000 pages of interviews, tests, and transcripts to find out how an Army helicopter and American Eagle jet could collide over the Potomac River. National Transportation Safety Board Chair Jennifer Homendy.
This is not an adversarial hearing. This does not mean difficult questions won't be asked.
The agency's packed hearing room fell silent as investigators showed 11 minutes of flight tracks and audio of a controller in the Reagan National Airport tower warning the Black Hawk pilots of the incoming CRJ-700.
F-25 is CRJ in sight. F-25 F-1 is CRJ. Let's go to the aircraft insect pressure separation.
Just released transcripts from the helicopter's voice recorder detailed that exchange prompted the Army pilots on a training flight to discuss changing course. The instructor tells the pilot, "Come left for me, ma'am," and the pilot responds, "Fine." But it was too late. Not a second later, the recordings captured the sound of the collision.
How much tolerance for safety should there be when civilian lives are at risk? How much is that tolerance? I think it should be zero.
The board grilled Army officials for what they call discrepancies with the helicopter's instruments. Following the crash, the NTSB tested 3 Black Hawks from the same Army unit and found their altimeters displayed 80 to 130 feet lower than the helicopter's actual height. Investigators underscore only 75 feet separated the helicopter route and the approach path passenger planes fly into National Airport.
That's significant. My concern is, where else in the national airspace does that exist?
Doug Lane lost his wife, Christine, and son, Spencer, in the crash. Tuesday, Senate Republicans proposed a bill mandating harsher rules for helicopter flights near airports.
Every meaningful step towards transparency, accountability, and safer skies is a victory for every family who has suffered an unimaginable loss.
Still to come, YouTube gets added to the list of social media sites that will soon have to block access to children under 16 in Australia. I'll speak with an expert about the potential impacts. That's coming up. Please stay with us.
Wait, no has children on meds now?
New psychology-based weight loss company?
Yes, Noom combines medication and behavior change so you can lose the weight and keep it off.
And it starts at just $149.
Noom, the smart way to lose weight.
VCRs are extinct, film reels are fading, and old photos are fragile.
Old formats won't last, but Legacy Box saves them. Professionally digitized, easy to stream, and ready to share. Join the millions of families who have trusted Legacy Box today.
When your dog's superhero moment goes sideways. Pumpkin Now, the urgent pay service from Pumpkin Pet Insurance, can pay you for eligible care before you pay the vet. Ask your vet about Pumpkin or visit pumpkin.care and see Superman, only in theaters July 11th.
This is One World.
The world's top headlines with some of the world's biggest players.
Stories that captivate. One World with Zain Asher and Biana Golodriga. Weekdays on CNN.
Grief isn't talked about much, but that's what my podcast is all about. Join me and my guests for a new season with new conversations about loss, life, and love.
All There Is with Anderson Cooper. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Join me, Larry McDowell, as I introduce you to Africa's trendsetters. See how they use their talents, resources, and passion to make a difference on the continent. This is African Voices Changemakers.
Jaggery Chanda and Otem Alpha are telling Africa's rich story, one beat at a time.
You can't put boundaries on music. It's a spiritual thing.
African Voices Changemakers on CNN.
I am Ivan Perez Sarmiento in Buenos Aires. This is CNN.
We run these campaigns during major sporting events not because they cause human trafficking, because human trafficking is a global issue. It exists everywhere, and no city is exempt. And my name is Sarah Despagne, and I'm the CEO of It's a Penalty. It's a Penalty's been running 10 years now, and we've been running this campaign during 19 major sporting events, working collaboratively with our partners to help protect the 1,000 potential victims. I think every time we run a campaign, it's encouragement. We know that we reach 180 million people on average, and education changes behaviour. And also we know that since 2020 in the US, during the Super Bowl campaign, we've helped rescue over 94 missing children. It's not the sporting events that cause this issue. It is a global issue. It's just that the sporting events provide us with the opportunity to raise awareness and to educate. And so we know that on average, for example, 82% have said that they're not educated in the area of smoking about and the hotlines for and that's important.
If you can keep your head when markets all around you are losing and you can't see a way through, if you can trade and not make money your master, meeting triumph and disaster in equal measure, if you can run with the ball and not be afraid of the bears, for when we come together, we will make sense of it all. What is more, we will be profitable. We are indeed watching West means business.
In a divided America,
Where do I fit?
you simply ask your partner. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table with the biggest debates to wrap up your day.
I get what you're saying, Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
News Night with Abby Phillip tonight on CNN.
Celebrating 5 years of connecting Africa with a special show in Nigeria.
From reflections on where we've been,
COVID-19 was a wake-up call.
to young people transforming its future.
We have $11 billion worth of assets under our protection.
We witness the biggest deals and innovation in business across Africa. Join us as we look back at the stories driving the continent forward.
Connecting Africa, only on CNN, in association with Exim Bank.
Australia is set to ban access to YouTube for children under the age of 16 later this year. It comes after the government had originally promised to spare the video sharing platform from being included in the crackdown on social media sites. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and more must prevent children from creating accounts or face hefty fines. The YouTube spokesperson said they will consider next steps will continue to engage with the government on the matter. The new laws set to take effect in December. All right, for more on this, I want to bring in Joanne Orlando, who's a researcher and author in the fields of digital literacy and digital well-being at Western Sydney University, and she joins me now from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for being here with us, Doctor. So you've been vocal that these bans are well-meaning, but they won't work. So why are you so skeptical?
Yeah, they're tricky. Like the idea that the government is trying to manage kids' risk online and help parents is great. You know, we really need that. But we know the reality of these kinds of bans is very tricky to enforce. One, kids have been using YouTube and other kind of platforms that are being banned, some of them for all of their life almost. So getting them off those is going to be tricky for families. And also we've got some platforms that are in the ban, some platforms that are out of the ban. So there seems to be this very kind of weird selection of what's in and what's out without a consistency. And people are really worried, well, why are some escaping and some are being banned?
So, I mean, parents are watching this and they're worried about their kids being exposed to harmful content, cyberbullying, body image issues, so on and so forth. So how do you respond to parents who would say, you know, I mean, what you're saying, you know, that this is tricky to enforce, it's not perfect, but something needs to be done, and at least this is something.
No, it is something. I think that's important. What's at stake here? What's the real issue? Are the design features that a lot of these platforms use? So YouTube, social media, but other platforms as well use design features which actually put kids at risk. So the never-ending content, algorithms and things like that, they are the things that are causing the risk for children. So I think one of the things that we can think about, maybe it's not banning a complete platform, but maybe it's targeting these design features so that they can have restrictions around them. So in those ways, the children will still be able to use the tool. For example, there's tons of educational content on YouTube without being exposed to so much risk.
But it's changing the features in this kind of like, you know, changing the flavors in cigarettes instead of sort of focusing on just making them inaccessible to children altogether.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. But we do know there is some great things on YouTube, for example. You know, a lot of schools use YouTube content, and a lot of children use all those how-to videos. You know, how do I perfect my running technique? They might be able to face. I don't know, who the hell he thinks he is doing all that to me?
Girl, fix that bob.
Bitch, you know,
Fix that bob. Fix that bob.
Fix that bob. My son will come in here, and you know what? All right, here's your. Is this the way you talk to people? Let me make a call to my son, and you don't want that because he's government. Now, excuse me, what is this now? What's this thing right there? Oh, he just got me.
Have a good day, man.
He's going to Yeah, you do have an attitude with me.
Have a good one, beautiful.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Here.
No.
Come outside. Come outside. Nice.
Okay, I understand, but you both.
Okay, he started with me. I did not start with him. All I said was my box is damaged and he
Here you go,
stuck his
Joshua.
nose where it didn't belong.
Top line, bottom
Who
line.
does he think he is? Some kind of cutesy? He's so cutesy when he
Thank you.
When he's my son. Cutesy.
Yeah, I'm real cute. Yike. Sheila, she paid 155 pounds. But who's gonna tell her that? I'm done.
Yeah, you tell him. It's not. Oh, I'm done. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Come the boxes to buy yourself on the shelf.
I didn't bring the box in like that, and they know me here. They know me well here.
So Nadia's not here for the next couple of days. She's on vacation, but if you want, you just welcome to give her a call back tonight. She'll be back on Monday.
You need to fix his attitude with his mouth and face. I don't know who the hell he thinks he is doing all that to me.
Girl, fix that bob.
Bitch, you know what?
Fix that
My
bob.
son
Fix that
will
bob.
come in here.
Fix that bob.
My son will come in here.
Fix that
And you know
bob.
what?
All right, here's your.
Is this the way you talk to people?
Let me make a call to my son, and you don't want that because he's government. No, excuse me, what is this here? What's this
So you
thing
pick
right
up your
here?
item.
Oh, he just got me.
Have a good day,
I
man.
t-
He's definitely got no.
He's got an attitude. Yeah, you do have an attitude with me.
Have a good one, beautiful.
Not you.
Okay.
Come around here. Come on, come around here. Come outside. Come outside. Come outside. Something that I'm. Nice.
Okay, I understand, but you're both.
What a cunt. I did not start with him. All I said was my box is damaged. He's
Go
got
down,
his
Sean.
nose where it didn't belong.
There's lots of tutorials that help them to develop that. So there is a lot of good. There must be a way to protect the good while still kind of starting to phase out the risk. And I know that YouTube have just started announcing that they would be using AI as an age verification on their platform. So maybe the age verification might be the answer. I'm not sure yet.
All right, listen, we only have a minute left, but this is super important, so I did want to ask you this because the Eve Safety Commissioner found 37% of children experienced harmful content on YouTube. That was the highest among the social platforms. So for parents of kids who aren't in Australia, it won't be banned for them. So what should parents be doing right now to protect their kids from all this harmful content?
No, absolutely. I think one of the big issues with YouTube and with lots of social media platforms is that content comes into their feed that they actually haven't asked for. So a child might start watching YouTube and then maybe they're watching like soccer highlights, but what comes up next is something that a parent wouldn't really want them to watch. So turning off the auto cue is the first thing so that they don't just get piled in with videos that they haven't asked for. That's one big thing. And also setting a limit on how much time they're allowed to spend on YouTube. I think that's really important because kids can kind of get in this never-ending loop, another video, so kind of screen time.
10-year-old who loves YouTube, and what you say resonates with me, so I really appreciate all that great advice. Joanne Orlando in Sydney, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more in that newsroom. Please do stay with us.
We try to be global and we try to be smart. But I want to hear our authentic voices of people who are passionate, who are intelligent, and that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Read Zakaria GPS, Sundays on CNN.
My show brings you the latest news and newsmakers. Do you feel the Trump administration understands what's at stake?
I'll be honest, we have to work on it.
England football, weekdays on CNN.
Let's talk business. This is marketplace. Final touches.
Release. We update you on the latest financial moves across the region, from Dubai to Saudi Arabia, Oman to Egypt. Discover what is transforming the region's economic landscape. Join me for the latest trends and innovations, making investing in the Middle East more attractive.
Marketplace Middle East, this weekend on CNN.
The fuck was that even for?
People in Birmingham, England showed up in force to honor Ozzy Osbourne. The city is considered the home of heavy metal, and it's where his band, Black Sabbath, formed in 1968. CNN entertainment reporter Elizabeth Wagmeister has this remembrance of the man known as the Prince of Darkness.
Thousands of fans lined the street in Birmingham, England to honor the life and legacy of Ozzy Osbourne. The funeral procession came 1 week after the rocker died. Now, no cause of death was given, but at the time his family had said that he passed surrounded by love. Now, his family members were seen at this funeral procession. His wife, Sharon Osbourne, visibly moved, very emotional and crying throughout the procession. Now, the Lord Mayor of Birmingham honored
mattermost for you. Stay connected, stay invested. We've got studios in Abu Dhabi. Join me for Connect the World with Becky Anderson.
Weekdays on CNN. This is CNN.
Hello and welcome to our viewers joining us all around the world. I'm Linda Kincaid. Good to have you with us. Just ahead, deadline for a deal. The White House announces trade agreements with more countries as we head into the final hours before Donald Trump's tariff deadline. While bracing for more economic uncertainty as the U.S. president declares the deadline will not be extended. And as Canada announces plans to recognize a Palestinian state, Arab nations are calling on Hamas to disarm in Gaza. Plus, pumping iron if you're over 60, 70, or even 80. How a gym in Detroit, Michigan is pushing seniors to build stronger, healthier versions of themselves, one dumbbell at a time.
Live from Atlanta, this is CNN Newsroom with Linda Kincaid.
Well, the U.S. president's tariffs are less than a day away from taking effect. His administration says this time there will be no extensions to that August 1st deadline and no grace period. Donald Trump has been ramping up the pressure on social media in recent hours. He's now threatened to impose a so-called Russian penalty on India for buying Russian oil. That's in addition to a possible 25% tariff. He posted, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together. For all I care." He also took aim at Canada over its support for Palestinian statehood, warning that will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. South Korea did reach an agreement with the U.S. that will put a 15% tariff on its goods. And we're hearing there's a trade framework in place with Pakistan, as well as new trade deals with Cambodia and Thailand. CNN's Christy Lustad is covering all of this and joins us now live from Hong Kong. Good to see you, Christy. So on the eve of Trump's August 1st tariff deadline, South Korea has agreed to a 15% tariff on exports to the U.S. It's higher than before, but lower than Trump's 25% threat. How big a deal is this for Seoul, and is it a sign that they're backing down to U.S. pressure?
You know, this was a big deal, Linda, and it was coming down to the wire. You know, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a trade deal with South Korea just before the August 1 tariff deadline. It includes this 15% tariff rate on all South Korean exports, which is lower than the original 25% tariff rate that was set to kick in on Friday. It also includes $350 billion investment from South Korea into the U.S. market, and for South Korea to purchase $100 billion worth of U.S. energy products, including liquefied natural gas. And we heard earlier today from the South Korean president, who talked about the investment component of this trade deal. I want to show this Facebook post that he issued this morning saying this, quote, "The $350 billion fund included in the trade agreement will strengthen the foundation for strategic industry cooperation. In particular, $150 billion of this fund is dedicated to shipbuilding cooperation, which will firmly support our company's entry into the U.S. shipbuilding industry." And the name of this project, believe it or not, is MASGA, as in Make American Shipbuilding Great Again. Now, South Korea was under a lot of pressure to seal this deal because other major Asian exporters in the region were able to do so. Let's bring up the list for you. You could remember that deal that was struck last week between the United States and Japan. Japan setting the bar with 15% tariffs while offering a hefty investment bundle. Philippines and Indonesia settled at 19%, Vietnam at 20%. Meanwhile, I got an update for you about Thailand and Cambodia. Of course, as we've been reporting, these two countries have been clashing at the border. A ceasefire was reached on Monday earlier this week. And we heard from Howard Lutnick, the U.S. Commerce Secretary, who told Fox News that a trade deal had been reached with these two countries, but he didn't offer any further details. We have heard from Thailand. A Thai official says no deal has officially been announced, but expects one soon within the next 24 hours. Linda.
And of course, Chrissy, India is being threatened with much higher tariffs. What is Donald Trump saying about that?
Oh, Donald Trump is slapping India with a tariff threat of about 25%, and he went further than that. He slammed India for its high trade barriers. He slammed India for continuing to buy Russian energy, Russian military equipment, and he slammed India on Truth Social. Let's bring up this post for you when he says this, quote, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. We have done very little."
With the spontaneity, knowing myself and what is actually joyful and what makes me feel joyful is not the same as other people. Going out, like, there's a lot of that stuff that's just not, it's not for me. I've got wonderful friends, therapy, different communities around me that help support me and discover my own sense of self, because we don't live in a world that does that all the time. Hey, I get to build my life for myself. I like to find the delight and joy, the spontaneity, knowing myself and what is actually joyful and what makes me feel joyful is not the same as other people. Going out, like, there's a lot of
India, their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Again, Trump slapped a 25% threat on India, which is due to kick in on Friday, August 1st, tariff deadline day. Back to you.
All right, so we'll be on that day as this plays out. Christy Listar, good to have you with us. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, uncertainty over those new tariffs and how they'll impact persistent inflation has the U.S. Federal Reserve holding interest rates steady. Chairman Jerome Powell is taking a wait-and-see approach and warning that cutting rates too soon could hurt the labor market. He would neither rule out nor confirm a possible rate cut come September. This is to the frustration of President Trump, who has long been demanding lower rates. U.S. stocks closed mixed on Wednesday as Wall Street processed Powell's remarks. And that's despite new GDP figures that show the U.S. economy sharply rebounded in the second quarter. Meanwhile, futures have been in positive territory. Well, Canada is joining a growing list of countries planning to recognize a Palestinian state. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he will make the move at the UN General Assembly in September, in line with Canada's commitment to a two-state solution. France and the UK announced similar moves earlier. The Arab and Muslim states, including Qatar and Egypt, are calling for Hamas to disarm and give up power in Gaza. It's part of a UN declaration signed at the conference. By France and Saudi Arabia. It also says the Palestinian Authority should be in charge of governance and security in all Palestinian territories. And U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will be starting on another diplomatic mission to address the war and starvation in Gaza. Multiple sources say he will travel to Israel in the day ahead. We've got more now on that situation in Gaza from CNN's Jeremy Diamond.
Well, more humanitarian aid is beginning to make its way into the Gaza Strip and into the hands of hungry Palestinians. But the UN agencies are warning that time is running out to mount a full-scale humanitarian response that can actually begin to alleviate the starvation crisis that is currently gripping Gaza. On Tuesday, about 200 trucks of humanitarian aid were distributed in Gaza, according to Israeli authorities. That's the same level as the day before, but a significant increase from the numbers of trucks that were getting distributed in Gaza last week. This comes after Israel began implementing those tactical pauses, safe distribution routes, all of these, of course, steps that the UN and other humanitarian aid agencies have been calling on Israel to implement for months now. And we know that so much of what is happening in Gaza already is going to be very difficult to alleviate. And for many, it will be too late. Inside Gaza, we're also getting a better sense of just how bad this starvation crisis is, with 39% of people now going days at a time without eating, according to the World Food Program. In Gaza City, in the northern part of the Strip, malnutrition levels among children under 5 have quadrupled in just the last 2 months, with a slew of agencies now describing famine-like conditions in many parts of the Gaza Strip. In addition to that, we are still seeing individuals in Gaza who are being killed by Israeli forces, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, as they are trying to make their way to get aid. And so now the question is, can this be alleviated? And of course, we know that those ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas have very much stalled for the time being. And so enter into the picture Steve Witkoff, President Trump's special envoy, who's going to be traveling to Israel on Thursday, presumably to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, as well as to see if it's possible to revive these hostage release and ceasefire efforts. Witkoff, before departing for Israel, spoke with the Egyptian foreign minister. They discussed those ceasefire efforts, the entry of humanitarian aid. Egypt, alongside Qatar, of course, are the two key mediators in these negotiations. Jeremy Diamond, CNN, Tel Aviv.
Well, rescuers are combing through the rubble of a 9-story building in Kyiv, searching for survivors from a new Russian strike. More than 24 sites were hit in the Ukrainian capital overnight, which left at least 6 people dead and dozens more injured. Officials say the targets included an apartment building, which took a direct hit. Rescue crews are now searching through the rubble for survivors. And 24 hours after one of the strongest earthquakes on record, the threat of destructive tsunami waves and flooding has thankfully passed. We'll have a report from Honolulu next.
Grief isn't talked about much, but that's what my podcast is all about. Join me and my guests for a new season with new conversations about loss, life, and love.
All There Is with Anderson Cooper. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Ben Wiedemann in Rome, and this is CNN.
Why, particularly in Gaza, why has leadership failed here? The allegations, I mean, this is chilling, stomach-churning stuff.
Yes, it is.
What happens, Maria Corina Machado, what happens if you're arrested? Where do you find empathy with some of these autocrats? Have you used ChatGPT to write any songs?
Not yet.
How does this story shape all of you who are the future?
Its production process is very complicated. It's completely handmade. A 20 to 40 centimeter piece takes over 3 months. The final product has to go through 7 or 8 technicians. We have some large screen fountains which require half a year. I feel particularly responsible for the skill set.
I really want some lemon heads. I don't know why, but I want some lemon heads.
If you can keep your head when markets all around you are losing and you can't see a way through, if you can trade and not make money your master, meeting triumph and disaster in equal measure, if you can run with the bulls and not be afraid of the bears, for when we come together, we will make sense of it all. And what is more, my friend, you will be profitable, for you are indeed watching Westfield's business.
Well, for the rescue team here, this really is a race against time. The village of Imi was among the hardest hit by the earthquake. This is the face of Israeli settler violence in the occupied West Bank. Over the last 12 weeks, we've seen people taking to the street in massive protests against these reforms. Huge in Victoria, the Palestinian prisoners in a divided America. Where do I fit? You tell me, ask your partner. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do different?
The hypocrisy is so rank, folks at home, classes in session.
To talk about the issue.
Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero.
The policies.
What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question?
And the biggest debates to wrap up your day.
I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
News Night with Abby Phillip tonight on CNN.
25 years of Inside Africa. Celebrate its culture, its people, its flavor, its heritage. 25 years of compelling stories.
The impact I want to have is to show the real Africa.
The trailblazers, the youth, Africa's present and future.
He messaged me. And so I said, okay, I'll answer. This morning I had a shampoo appointment. And so I answered and they were like, am I disturbing you? And I said, I don't converse with men that I don't know. And they said, well, let's change that. And I said, well, I'm actually on the way to go get my hair done. You gonna contribute to that? They sent a long paragraph asking me to explain why they should do that. And they said, now they understand the kind of woman that I am, on and on and on. And I said, no problem. No worries. Have a good day. I feel like this. I keep my nails done, keep my toes done. So nails, toes, every month. I get my hair done every month. This is a luxury style. I keep my hair up, right? So getting my hair done every month. Nails, toes, hair. I own my home. I got an acre of land. I have to get my grass cut. I get my yard work done by myself. All of that is covered by myself. I have a nice body. I get that done in the gym. I have a gym membership. I clothe my nice body with nice clothes. And so I have to go shopping. And I wear makeup, which I enjoy. And in the comments, I don't care what you got to say about makeup. But I also spend money on that. And so to keep this up, I also eat on a meal plan that I have created. And so for that meal plan, I have to go grocery shopping to eat off of the meal plan that I have created. And so all of this takes money. All of this takes money to upkeep this. And so why am I having free conversations? And it is okay. It is okay if you don't feel the way that I feel and you are having free conversations. But I think about this, especially if you're messaging me when I'm on the way to an appointment where I'm about to spend hundreds of dollars to get my hair washed, and I'm continuing to have this appointment where I'm spending hundreds of dollars on myself, and you're interested in me? No, I don't have free conversations. And I implore you, if you are a woman who takes great care of herself and does great things for herself and keeps herself up, think about whether you're having free conversations. I treat my phone like it still has minutes and you're not using mine up. That's it. Love you. Bye. I pay too much money for my upkeep to be having free conversations. I had somebody reach out to me. They have been reaching out to me in my DMs.
Inside Africa, in association with Zenith Bank.
Let's talk business. This is Marketplace Middle East, where we update you on the latest financial moves across the region, from Dubai to Saudi Arabia, Oman to Egypt. Discover what is transforming the region's economic landscape. Join me for the latest trends and innovations, making investing in the Middle East more attractive.
Marketplace Middle East, this weekend on CNN.
Tsunami alerts are largely cancelled across the Pacific now. It has been 24 hours since one of the strongest earthquakes on record triggered tsunami warnings throughout the region. But the waves remained relatively small and most places avoided major destruction. CNN's Will Ripley has more now from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Tsunami warnings across the Pacific Ocean. A massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake off Russia's far eastern coast. Waves first slammed into Russia's shoreline towns. Panicked sea lions dove into the ocean as rocks tumbled. Furniture shook inside homes and buildings. The tremors damaged an empty kindergarten, even forcing surgeons to hold down a patient on an operating table. Waves also crashed into the Japanese coastline. People rushed to rooftops for safety. The threat reached parts of South America on Tuesday. Authorities in several countries evacuated coastal areas due to fears of a tsunami. And in the U.S., parts of the West Coast and Hawaii were on edge overnight and into the day.
A lot of anxiety and stress from folks during these types of situations. And the decision as the captain of the port to shut down commercial harbors, to evacuate, to hold vessels off, that's not a decision I take lightly at all.
This ring camera video from a business in Haleiwa shows time-lapse footage, water surging from the waves. The water can be seen getting very close to the deck.
Blue from your last lace front, still in the scalp, edges hanging on for dear life. Perm, dyed, bleached, broken hair, and somehow I'm supposed to work a miracle. Then you get in the chair and start huffing and puffing, asking how many more every 5 minutes, turning your head back like you're the manager watching me work, like I'm literally not trying to braid in peace. You go to the bathroom every 10 minutes to check your hair as if the style is finished. Like, sis, sit still. You're not even halfway done. You always want last-minute appointments. Hey, can you squeeze me in today? And if I say yes, here you come 5 minutes before the appointment, talk about some, can I change the color or can I get medium instead of small? Absolutely not. This is not being a braid. And then y'all cancel last minute. No courtesy, no warning, just silence. You messed up my whole schedule. Then pop in a week later. Hey, boo, you got anything for today? I think not. Y'all never agreed to braid or either. You just want to say, how much for this? No hey love, no nothing. And then it'd be a 42-inch style pincher that I don't even offer. And then y'all refuse to go through the booking sites like adults. You beat on me 37 times asking 12 questions. Like, you're not going to go to the next braider while you're trying to book me. See who cheaper. And then you talk, can I cash app you? No, boo, you don't do cash app no more. And then y'all don't even want to look through the sites. And then you want to order DoorDash through your appointment. Then I'm sitting here watching you dispute your charge because you can't afford braids in. When I'm sitting here, you watching lemon pepper wings. Just got down on these people for their hard-earned money. Let's not forget about the texting friends during the appointment talking about some. She's taking forever. Hey, you came late. Your hair wasn't prepped all over the place, and you want these waist-length braids with a 2-hour attention span. That's not the way it works. So y'all want to keep touching y'all hair like it's a countdown. How many braids do y'all left? You could hip left all braids. Girl, just bring a snack and chill. Okay? And then y'all want to rant about the last braider in my chair like that's supposed to impress me. How about, oh, she was rude. She messed up my parts. Girl, no. You are the common denominator here in all these horror stories. And the worst part, y'all leave. And then y'all post y'all pictures with y'all braids, talking, oh, my braider ate. Then dispute their payment like I robbed you. You love the style until your fake opportunity feel bad. Let's be honest. Some of y'all don't book braiders to get your hair done. Y'all book us to complain, to get content, and to play victim on TikTok. You leave a mess, you bring stress, and then you make a story time about how I traumatized you. No, baby, you traumatized me. So yes, I don't braid everybody's hair. I braid professional appointments, not headaches. So I don't service 27 and 100 braiders. Y'all can go pay somebody else's time. Somebody else money because it's not that up here. Okay, bye. I don't service clients between the ages of 13 and 27. Let me tell you what. It's always drama. Y'all want long styles, luxury service, celebrity thoughts on the basic budget. You show up with a hair not washed, blue from your last lace front, still in your scalp, edges hanging on for dear life, perm, dyed, bleached, broken hair, and somehow I'm supposed to look at your hair. Then you get in the chair and start huffing and puffing, asking how many more every 5 minutes, turning your head back like you're the manager who should be working, like I'm literally not trying to braid in peace. You go to the bathroom every 10 minutes to check your hair as if the style is finished. Like, sis, sit still. You're not even halfway done. You always want last-minute appointments. Hey, can you squeeze me in today? And if I say yes, here you come 5 minutes before the appointment. Can I change the color or can I get medium instead of small? Absolutely not. I'll feel the braid. And then y'all cancel last minute. No courtesy, no warning. Just like, that's up to the whole schedule. Then pop in a week later. Hey, you got anything for today?
Blue Planet Adventure Company. In Hilo, the waves flooded parking lots. U.S. Coast Guard ships went out to sea for safety.
We pre-staged these Coast Guard assets, essentially got them out of the harbor, and in order to be able to quickly respond to any search and rescue cases.
This Coast Guard cutter, the Oliver Berry, just returned to home port here in Honolulu. A tsunami advisory for Hawaii has been lifted. The National Weather Service urges people here and in other affected areas to stay cautious because strong currents and dangerous conditions make it
conflict between Israel and Iran. Sources say Washington used about a quarter of its THAAD interceptors in only 12 days to strike Iran in order to protect Israel. And that could leave a big gap in the U.S. military posture overseas.
Each of these bright lights come from a sophisticated U.S. intercept missile system known as THAAD, being used for the first time in a war.
Yeah, I'm getting married next. I didn't get that down. I look at me right now. You like what you love it? I love it. Okay. Oh, that's how you look. Yeah, I'm getting married next. She ready up for a wedding. She's a bridesmaid today. I didn't get that down.
That Israel has Iranian ballistic missiles rained down. A CNN investigation found that the U.S. military cut deeply into its stockpile of THAAD missiles, launching more than $1.2 billion worth of the interceptors in just 12 days, and burning through these crucial defense weapons much faster than they're able to make them. When Israel went to war with Iran, it came under the most sustained attack of ballistic missiles in its history. Unless intercepted, those Iranian projectiles can take out entire apartment blocks. Israel shot most of these down. and the U.S. military stepped in to help with the THAAD. As Iran launched its missiles towards Israel, THAAD, along with Israel's Arrow 3 and the U.S. Navy's own SM-3 interceptors, sprang into action. Where other systems faltered, American troops on the ground launched THAAD, destroying the incoming missiles just outside the Earth's atmosphere. We know from sources that more than 100 THAAD interceptors, as many as 150, were used during the war. But only 11 THAAD missiles were commissioned by the U.S. government last year, according to official budget numbers. 12 are being built this year. And in 2026, production is expected to ramp up to 37, meaning it could potentially take years to replenish the stockpile used against Iran in less than 2 weeks. And it's not just hard to replace, it's expensive. THAAD launches cost around $12.7 million a pop. A THAAD interceptor missile is over 20 feet long and weighs around 1,500 pounds. Each system takes more than 95 U.S. Army specialists to operate. The most complex weapons in the U.S. arsenal. We spoke to several former defense officials who say that the war has only deepened a problem that the Pentagon has faced for years. Stockpiles are dropping. We need more. We need them faster than they're being built. There's not enough systems, there's not enough interceptors, and there's not enough production, and there are not enough people working on it. Analysts say the stockpile depletion could impact U.S. air defenses where they may be critical, in the Asia-Pacific region.
The idea is that China can erect an anti-access area denial bubble to keep the U.S. Navy at arm's length in the event that it wished to intervene in, for example, Taiwan. From a narrowly military standpoint, the Chinese are absolutely the winners here.
Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson said the U.S.
I don't think so. Okay. She's not the right one today. I don't think so. Okay. She's not the right one today.
Is quote
I
the
want to see
strongest it
more.
has been and has everything it needs to conduct
Maybe because they know where they going.
all around the world. Mara Kablawi, CNN, London.
Still ahead, an AI-generated ad for gas sparks controversy over the future of fashion. I'll speak with an AI expert about the optics of the issue and its potential effects on the industry.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com.
When your dog's superhuman moment, it goes sideways. The urgent pay service from Pumpkin Pet Insurance can pay you for eligible care before you pay the vet. Ask your vet about Pumpkin or visit pumpkin.care and see Superman, only in theaters July 11th.
We try to be global and we try to be smart. But I want to hear our authentic voices of people who are passionate, who are intelligent, and that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
When you see the pain and the struggles of the victim, you cannot look away. And really the emotion is more a combination of anger and also sympathy and compassion to those victims. My name is Samson Inocentro, and I serve as the National Director of International Justice Mission in the Philippines and also the Vice President of ITEM's Program Against Online Sexual Exploitation of Children. When I started to work on this issue in 2003, the trafficking of children for sex in bars and brothels is prevalent. But I can say that the Philippines has really gone a long way in terms of developing its capacity to address this issue. We are building a response protection model that, for me, will be the world's most effective strategy in stopping human trafficking, especially online sexual exploitation and abuse of children. We are seeing great progress already with more than 400 rescue operations conducted to date, resulting in the rescue of more than 1,300 infants and children at risk and more than 200 suspects arrested. Addressing this issue in the Philippines is this one-sided abroad. This issue is efficient supply and demand.
Our backstory, it's a Walmart. But it's my problem. This is my job. This is what we've been looking for. They must have access to satellite imagery. They know where you are and they're coming. I know what you're talking about. It's changed our life.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
Celebrating 5 years of connecting Africa with a special show in Nigeria.
For reflections on where we've been.
COVID-19 was a wake-up call.
Young people transforming its future.
We have $11 billion worth of assets under our protection.
We witnessed the biggest deals and innovation in business across Africa. Join us as we look back at the stories driving the continent forward.
Connecting Africa, only on CNN, in association with Afrexim Bank.
I'm Christy Lustau in Hong Kong, and this is CNN.
When I started Josh Sellers, it was humble beginnings. My wife Dee and I took out a second mortgage to make the first vintage. I was sleeping on a friend's couch and selling wine out of the trunk of my car. It's a beautiful thing. At times, I thought about giving up. Then I'd think about how much all have helped me. I couldn't let me go. Today, the dream has become a reality. Josh Sellers is loved by so many, and that's thanks to you. I'm so grateful. Cheers.
Save big this summer with the bundle that has something for everyone.
Here we go, boys.
The Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus bundle. This is awesome. Get it all for less. Plan starting at just $16.99 a month.
I'm Minister Valerie Harris, and this is CNN. Welcome back, I'm Linda Kincaid. Vogue magazine is facing criticism after using an AI-generated model in its August issue. Take a look at this. The ad for Guess has people talking. The Paris-based AI marketing agency, Seraphine.
Looking good. I'll ditch the truck. You hold on to those.
used algorithms trained to mimic runway looks, fashion campaign photos, and studio lighting. The result is this stunning model, but she's not real. While Vogue discreetly notes the image was made using AI, it's done little to quell the criticism. And while it may have cut costs, fashion insiders are concerned about how it could become a destructive trend for the industry. Joining me now is Shira Lazar, host of the AI Download podcast and founder of whatstrending.com. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So every industry is facing disruption from AI, and jobs will be lost. But this marks the first time fashion powerhouse Vogue featured an entirely AI-generated model in a Guess ad.
Also, of oregano.
Of course, the backlash was loud and fast, especially from long-time subscribers. Were you surprised by that reaction?
I mean, I'm not surprised. It's amazing that this was done in a print magazine first, and in a magazine like Vogue, known as the pinnacle of fashion, of course, 2 months after Anna Wintour steps down, which makes many feel like, is this what the future of Vogue will be like if they're allowing something like this? And so, of course, we're seeing screen.
Please stop eating that shit. Let me show y'all a little something, okay? Pay attention. Nuggets. Look at that. Look at that. That's what's in these nuggets. I know y'all like y'all's hot and spicy, but look at that. Look, even your desserts, your apple pies. Watch out, man. Even your fucking McGriddles, man. Look, let's think about it. I'm just trying to tell y'all, let y'all know. Y'all don't get to see these ingredients. So. Stop eating this shit, okay?
A lot of videos popping up on TikTok from the industry, but yes, from fans,
Well, he gonna end up dead.
from social media alike that are saying, one, this isn't what Vogue represents, and also even yes, if you remember these incredible campaigns they used to have with, Anna Nicole Smith and these beautiful images and pictures, and now if you look at the ones that you showed on screen, very bland, very basic, very typical, does not represent what we would say is the, beauty standards that we want to see. We want to see diversity. We want to see soul. And this is definitely not it.
And of course,
years ago, it's not a bad gig. I mean, a lot of hours if you're down with that.
How many hours per day?
I'd say on average I get off about 8 o'clock, so 9:15 to 8. But yeah, good benefits, good retirement, sets you up for the future.
How long did it take you to become a driver?
Let's see, I started in 2020 and I was a driver in 2022. But I'm a rare case. Usually it takes more than that.
COVID probably helped you a little bit.
Exactly. Perfect timing with COVID.
What's your plan? Are you going to retire here? Or?
I mean, that's the plan right now. Just stick with it unless something else pops up,
Anything else you want to say about the career or anything in general?
I mean, you got to love the grind. It's all the grind.
Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, got you, brother.
How much money do you make?
So right now I'm at like $33.60 and top rate is up.
The jobs that typically go into a shoot like this. In this case, this was a 2-page Guess campaign featuring a model styled in various outfits, but there was no casting director, no photographer, no makeup artist, no model, just AI. The company has responded to the criticism online, on Instagram, saying what they did involves complex workflows that they built themselves. They said it's architecture, it's visual direction, it's fabric studyings, lighting tests, real photography, and yes, AI. They say the vision and the work is human. But does anyone actually buy that, or is that just marketing spin?
Yeah, this is what a lot of these AI companies are saying, and I'm a tech optimist. Obviously, I cover AI. I believe in the future. I want to learn about it and I'm curious about it. But the idea is that a company is more ethical if they're using the human first, even though it's scaled up with AI. And in the end, this is just not what we're seeing from something like this. This features, clearly white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, thin women. And fashion has come just so far in terms of progress when it comes to beauty and pushing through toxic beauty culture. And this is just not it. And even if you look at this company's Instagram, you'll see a lot of just typical models like that. And if this is what we can expect from companies like that, then we're going to be very, I think, disappointed. And, other brands have tried this. H&M also is saying they're about to train their models with AI. So they'll actually use a real model to create an AI twin. I think this is possibly a bit more ethical because the models will be able to make money without actually working. So I'm down for that. But then just creating fake humans and creating this homogenized view of beauty, I don't think it's what the public wants to see.
Trey, what you doing right now, bro? What you doing?
Nothing. Bored as hell in the crib.
All right. Listen, I just wanted to know if you was down to come to a party with me today, bro.
Oh, it's a party tonight?
Yeah, bro. It's gonna be lit.
Time to start.
Hey, it starts whenever you get up, bro. Whenever you get up.
What you mean whenever I get up? Bro, where's the party?
It's on Twitch, nigga. It's on Twitch, bro. Come on.
Excuse me?
The party's on Twitch. My favorite streamer, Jay Swaggy, he about to go to a party tonight on his stream, bro.
Wait, I'm confused. Are we going to a party where a streamer is going to be at? Like, he's going to be at the party?
No, bro. He's going to do an IRL stream at a party, bro. But that's why I told you we got to get him to a certain amount of subs. He said he's not doing it unless he gets 2,000 more subs. So I told you, help me out with that.
Don't you got to pay money to get streamer subs?
Yeah, of course you do. But I'm saying, I want you to, help me get him to that amount of subs so then he'll go to the party. And then, you can stay in the stream and the stream will...
So you want me...
What?
To go join the stream and then... You want us to pay money to watch him go to a party?
Well, yeah, bro. Listen, he needs 2,000 more subs to reach his sub goal. The sub goal is a reward that he's going to go to a party once he reaches that sub goal.
His reward for us paying money is to watch him go to a party and have fun.
Well, yeah, bro. It's going to make the stream better. It's going to make the stream better, bro. There's going to be mad bitches at the party, bro. It's going to be lit.
You're not going to be getting them, though.
Okay, but we can watch him get the bitches. That's what I'm saying. Oh, my God, bro. He says he's going to end the stream, bro. He says he's going to end the stream. Get the subs, bro. Pull up, bro. We got pull up to the party, bro.
Pull up like it's an actual party, though. Like,
bro, hurry up, bro. Please,
that's why I'm not.
You have to move the end of the stream. We're gonna be in the party. We're gonna be in the party. Watch him get bitches.
But I will still be in the crib.
Girl.
Rescue, please close the skies over Ukraine, you bet. There are so many people who are coming out to pay their last respects to the Russian opposition leader.
There's always hope.
We've come to this village in southeastern Nepal, which is full of Harawa-Charawa people. They're bonded labourers. We have thousands of people. They need us to help them. Are you still optimistic? The best is in front of us.
In a divided America, where do I fit? You tell me, ask your partner. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do differently?
The hypocrisy is so rampant. Folks at home, classes in session to talk about the issue. Congresswoman, that is false. The answer is zero. The policies.
What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question?
And the biggest debates to wrap up your day. I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea? News Night with Abby Phillip, tonight on CNN.
Hi, thanks for joining us. Welcome to World Sport here in London with me, Amanda Davis. The brilliant women's football continues, and the Copa America Femenina final is now set with defending champions Brazil securing their place in the decider against Colombia and what's set to be a rematch of the 2022 final. 8-time winners Brazil advanced with a comprehensive 5-1 win over Uruguay in Tuesday's second semi-final. Amanda Gutierrez scoring twice for last year's Olympic runners-up. She combined with Marta in the 11th minute to put her side 1-0 up with her head. before Brazil found a second just 2 minutes later when Gio Garbellini scored from close range. Marta, back from her international retirement at the age of 39, scored her first of the tournament from the penalty spot to give Brazil a commanding lead even before the half-hour mark. And even though Uruguay pulled one back with some help from Brazil's Isa Haas on 51 minutes, it was a brilliant free kick from Gutierrez that quickly followed to restore the 3-goal cushion. With time for substitute Vidya to add another before the end, so 5-1 it finished to not only give Brazil their place in the final, but also secure their spot at the next Olympic Games in LA in 2028, alongside fellow finalists.
Hey, Jude. Hey. 2 yards here in my camera.
Spikes, not the choppers. The choppers will be fast enough to get away from the cops. And if they wouldn't be able to turn a corner. These bikes use a magnetic energy recovery system. They store the energy you use braking to accelerate later on. To avoid cops and save the environment while you're at it. Okay, as always, don't let them know you're breaking in until you want them to know you're breaking in.
Hey, we got the wrong camera. Hey there. You're in the wrong camera. Hey, staggered to the wrong camera last night. I don't know who you are. Somebody's trying missing you, though. We gotta get up and get ready. We're gonna have to go home. I don't know where home is. Hey, dude. Hey. I don't know who you are. You're in my camera. Whoa. What am I doing in your camera, bro? Well, I don't know. Must have slept a good one off. Hey, sorry, man. Hey, it's got the wrong camera. Hey there. Wrong camera. Hey, stagger into the wrong camera.
Estamos up for please. Close the skies over Ukraine and Bensky. There's so many people who are coming to pay their last respects to the Russian opposition leader.
There's always hope.
We come to this village.
You can literally make eye contact with someone for 2 seconds, and the next thing is no names, no flirtings, no questions, just you know what is the best part? In Brazil, kissing is super. Doesn't mean that people is in love with you. It's just how people see society. Claro, amor, poder explicar. Kissing without so much feeling. If someone try kissing you, you just say no. Usually take this well. Brazilian guys are really used to rejection. That happens a lot. Kiss if I is asking 100 girls in the night to kiss him. Of course, he's getting, I don't know. But what happened is they just love say, okay, but no, of course, and basically kissing in Brazil is just another way to say masculinity or you are beautiful. So if you come here, don't be surprised when you go to a party and you kiss 5 people you don't even know. Now comment below if you would kiss someone. Estamos na procura. Please close the skies over Ukraine, you bet. There's so many people who are coming to pay their respects to the Russian opposition leader. There's always hope. We come to this village in southeastern Nepal, which is full of Charoa people, Nepali laborers. We have thousands of people. They need us to help them. Are you still optimistic? The best is in the front of us.
In a divided America, where do I fit? You tell me, ask your party. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do different?
The hypocrisy is so rank, folks, at all classes in session to talk about the issue. Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero. The policies. What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question? And the biggest debates to wrap up your day. I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea? News Night with Abby Phillip, tonight on CNN.
Hi, thanks for joining us. Welcome to World Sport here in London with me, Amanda Davis. The brilliant week of women's football continues, and the Copa America Femenina final is now set with defending champions Brazil securing their place in the decider against Colombia in what's set to be a rematch of the 2022 final. 8-time winners Brazil advance with a comprehensive 5-1 win over Uruguay in Tuesday's second semi-final. Amanda Gutierrez scoring twice for last year's Olympic runners-up. She combined with Marta in the 11th minute to put her side 1-0 up with her head before Brazil found a second just
Estamos na procura. Please close the skies over Ukraine, you bet. There's so many people who are coming out to pay their last respects to the Russian opposition leader.
There's always hope.
We come to this village in southeastern Nepal, which is full of Charoa people, Nepali laborers. We have thousands of people. They need us to help them. Are you still optimistic? The best is in the front of us.
In a divided America, where do I fit? You tell me, ask your party. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do different?
The hypocrisy is so rank, folks, at all classes in session to talk about the issue. Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero. The policies. What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question? And the biggest debates to wrap up your day. I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea? News Night with Abby Phillip, tonight on CNN.
Hi, thanks for joining us. Welcome to World Sport here in London with me, Amanda Davis. The brilliant week of women's football continues.
And stuff like that. It's funny, I rarely get my hair braided, and I just went to the African braiding shop, and here y'all is talking about y'all boycotting these folks. What is we boycotting them for? Please help me understand, like, I understand that the black American girls do know how to braid hair and stuff like that, but you can't just walk up in their shop. You gotta buy your own hair. They be charging $300 plus, just all these extra add-on fees. In the African shop, you got two people on your head. It ain't, you know what you're paying for. You know what you're getting. Like, it is what it is. You can get out, take a break. But it's like, this be boycott. And then it's like, y'all boycott everything else. Why the fuck y'all ain't boycott Why the fuck y'all ain't boycott Gucci? Why we don't boycott The brain's gonna be brain, thoughts gonna be talking because like I'm cool, baby. You don't see how it's funny, I rarely get my hair braided and I just went to the African braiding shop. Here y'all is talking about y'all boycotting these folks. What is we boycotting them for? Please help me understand, like, I understand that the black American girls do.
Estamos on the prestige leagues close the skies over Ukraine base. There's so many people who are coming out to pay their last respects to the Russian opposition leader.
There's always hope.
We come to this village in southeastern Nepal, which is full of Charua people. They're bonded laborers. We have thousands of people. They need us to help them. Are you still optimistic?
Yes, in front of us.
In a divided America, where do I fit? Exactly. Ask your partner. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table. Can you name one thing you just The hypocrisy is so racial. All classes in session to talk about the issue. Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero. The policies.
What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question?
And the biggest debates to wrap up your day. I hear what you're saying, Trump policing, but do you think it's a good idea? News Night with Abby Phillip tonight on CNN.
Seeing you drop by, I'm just curious if you're lost or something.
No, not at all.
Ask you what you're doing?
Is it in your business?
I mean, kind of.
No, it's not.
I mean, it kind of is.
I mean, it's kind of not.
Driving in front of my house for some reason or another, and
I'm driving around the whole block. I'm like just driving in front of your house.
Exactly.
What's weird about me driving around?
Where I'm from, somebody busted a block around there. Either somebody about to get shot, or you're looking for somebody to mess with, or something.
If I was looking to shoot somebody, I would have been with it. That don't make sense. You don't know what I'm doing, so you want to stop. You want to literally come in the middle of the road and stop my car, and you have no idea what I'm doing because I'm just driving around the block.
And I was just trying to figure out.
On the block.
No, but I paid for it.
You paid there.
Yeah.
There. Okay. How about going to your house? Don't step in front of the street again. You want my license plate? Go ahead. I get it. It's back there. You done? You call MPs? Where did you live in? Right here? Right. I'm gonna put my daughter away because that's what I was doing. I was driving around to put my child to sleep. Why you so fucking nosy? Because it's not none of your business. I don't even tell you shit. That's the crazy part, right? Because we live here. You don't know me from a can of paint. I don't know you. But I seen you playing me every time I came around. Because it's kind of weird that I want to put my child to sleep. I don't got to tell you what I'm doing. I don't got to tell you shit. Not a damn thing. I got a 1-year-old in the car. I'm trying to put her to sleep. Which is so fucking nosy that you want to watch me go around the block 8 times. And I knew you were going to do some fuck shit. I knew you were going to do shit. But it's alright. I'll be right back. I'll go put my daughter away and we can have a man-to-man talk. Alright? Yeah. Can I help you? No?
Okay. Seeing you drop by, I was just curious if you're lost or something.
No, I don't.
Estamos on the prestige leagues close the skies over Ukraine base. There's so many people who are coming out to pay their last respects to the Russian opposition leader.
There's always hope.
We come to this village in southeastern Nepal, which is full of Charua people. They're bonded laborers. We have thousands of people. They need us to help them. Are you still optimistic? Yes, it's wonderful.
In a divided America, Where do I fit? You tell me. Ask your partner. Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table. Can you name one thing you do differently? Hypocrisy is so random. All classes in session to talk about the issue. Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero. The policies. What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question? And the biggest debates to wrap up your day. I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea? News Night with Abby Phillip tonight on CNN.
Hi, thanks for joining us. Welcome to World Sport here in London with me, Amanda Davis. Continues, and the Copa America Femenina final is now set with defending champions Brazil securing their place in the decider against Colombia and all set to be a rematch of the 2022 final. 8-time winners Brazil advanced with a comprehensive 5-1 win over Uruguay in Tuesday's second semi-final. Amanda Gutierrez scoring twice for last year's Olympic runners-up, combined with Marta in the 11th minute to put her side 1-0 up with her head before Brazil found a second just 2 minutes later when Gio Garbellini scored from close range. Marta, back from her international retirement at the age of 39, scored her first in the tournament from the penalty spot to give Brazil a commanding lead even before the half-hour mark. And even though Uruguay pulled one back with some help from Brazil's Isa Haas on 51 minutes, it was a brilliant free kick from Gutierrez that quickly followed to restore the 3 goals. Time for substitute Vidya to add another before the end. So 5-1 it finished. Not only give Brazil their place in the final, but also secure their spot at the next Olympic Games in LA in 2028, alongside fellow finalists Colombia. A little bit earlier, I was joined by women's football journalist Julia Velas-Trindade, who started off highlighting the progression of this team since the last World Cup.
That final was the beginning of Pastorelli's work with the national team. So Brazil had a terrible run in the World Cup in 2023. So Pastorelli took over the team, but it was his first major tournament. And that was a surprise on its own because Brazil was still recovering. It was still developing his team. And nowadays, it's way more well established, even because of these results. He has been able to just develop the team like he wants to, like he believes he can. And we've been investing in 14 younger players as well. So we will see, reviewers of the national team that has been quite successful over the past year, and the Copa America just helped to consolidate that as well.
It's going to be such an incredible moment for women's football and women's in that World Cup in 2027. But this tournament is being played at the same time alongside the Women's European Championships that we've just had concluded in Switzerland, the Women's AFCON that has been taking place in Morocco, which is really the comparisons, the parallels, the differences are being drawn now, and there has been criticism around this competition for the backing of the teams, the players and the facilities. What is the crux of the complaints that are being made, and how fair are they in your opinion?
Yeah, so Brazilian like South American football in general, South Americans are passionate about football. It is a continent that, if you like the concept of men's football, for example, you have heard of many players, you have heard of Messi and Pelé, many brilliant players in men's football. So it is a continent that is passionate about the game, and in women's football, we have been developing the game over the past 6-7 years. But at the same time, it has been difficult to compare with the conditions that have been provided, for example, by the UEFA and the European women's football, world. Because in South America, we still see CONMEBOL cutting costs, cutting corners to not be able and not providing the players
Line and no grace period. Donald Trump has been ramping up the pressure on social media in recent hours. He's now threatened to impose a so-called Russian penalty on India for buying Russian oil. That's in addition to a possible 25% tariff. He posted, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together. For all I care." He also took aim at Canada over its support for Palestinian statehood, warning that will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them. Oh, Canada. South Korea did reach an agreement with the US, and so did Cambodia and Thailand. And there's progress in trade talks with Pakistan. And here's how the Asia-Pacific markets are reacting on the eve of the tariff deadline. You can see they're mostly in the red, the Nikkei up just over 1%. A closer look now at the US deal with South Korea. CNN's Christy Lou Stout has our report.
U.S. President Donald Trump announced a trade deal with South Korea right before the August 1 tariff deadline. Now, he says the deal includes a 15% tariff on imports from South Korea, and that's down from the 25% rate originally due to kick in on Friday. The deal also includes a $350 billion investment from South Korea into the U.S. and the purchase of $100 billion worth of liquefied natural gas and other U.S. energy products. Trump also said that South Korea would accept U.S. products, including cars, trucks, and agriculture, with no import duties. Now, the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick provided more details on the arrangement on the social platform X. He wrote this, quote, South Korea's reciprocal and auto tariff rate will be set at 15%. They will also not be treated any worse than any other country on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. Steel, aluminum, and copper are not included and remain unchanged, unquote. On Facebook, the South Korean president, Lee Jae-myung, fleshed out the investments in the deal. He said this, quote, the $350 billion fund included in the trade agreement will strengthen the foundation for strategic industry cooperation. In particular, $150 billion of this fund is dedicated to shipbuilding cooperation, which will firmly support our company's entry into the U.S. shipbuilding industry. And the name of this project? MASGA, or quote, Make American Shipbuilding Great Again. Look, there was a lot of pressure on South Korea to reach this deal before the deadline, especially when its export rivals had already done so. Here's the regional context. Now, Japan's deal with the U.S. set the bar at a 15% tariff while offering a hefty investment. And the Philippines and Indonesia, they settled for 19%, Vietnam at 20%. Meanwhile, Thailand and Cambodia have been clashing at the border. A ceasefire was announced on Monday. And Lutnick told Fox News that there is a deal with both countries, but provided no further details. Now, Thailand says no deal has been officially announced, but expects one soon. Now, talks with China for a trade truce extension, those are ongoing. Now, South Korea is America's seventh largest source of imports. It's also a key strategic ally. Analysts note how North Korea and the U.S. military presence in the Korean Peninsula didn't appear to factor in the trade deal, but that will likely come up when the two leaders meet. Trump says the South Korean president will visit the White House, quote, within the next 2 weeks. Christy Lou Stout, CNN, Hong Kong.
Well, uncertainty over the new tariffs and how they'll impact persistent inflation has the U.S. Federal Reserve holding interest rates steady. Chairman Jerome Powell is taking a wait-and-see approach and warns that cutting rates too soon could hurt the labor market. He would not need to rule out nor confirm a possible rate cut come September. And this is to the frustration of President Trump, who has long been demanding lower rates. U.S. stocks closed mixed on Wednesday as Wall Street processed those remarks, and that's despite new GDP figures that show the U.S. economy sharply rebounded in the second quarter. And futures so far have been in positive territory. You can see that the Dow up just a little bit over 0.25%, and NASDAQ up 1.34%. Well, the White House official tells CNN that President Trump is quietly discussing plans to host the G20 summit next year at his golf club in Florida. The official says the possibility has been under discussion for weeks now. During his first term, the president wanted to host a G7 summit at the Miami area resort, but he reversed course amid conflict of interest questions about hosting a major gathering of world leaders at his own property. Well, Russia is rapidly gaining ground in eastern Ukraine. Still ahead, CNN takes you there where the slightest movement could get you killed as Russian drones patrol the skies.
We just have to keep every kind of light source or heat source indoors in case Russian drones are passing overhead.
Plus, CNN takes you inside a home where a terrifying attempted robbery took place. The attackers were seeking cryptocurrency. We have that story and much more ahead on CNN Newsroom.
Try to be global and we try to be smart. But I want to hear authentic voices of people who are passionate, who are intelligent, and that's the consistency that we try to get at. Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
It isn't talked about much, but that's what my podcast is all about. Join me and my guests for a new season in conversations about loss, life, and love.
All currents with Anderson. Visit wherever you get your podcasts.
Join me, Larry McDowell, as I introduce you to Africa's trendsetters. See how they use their talent, resources, and passion to make a difference on the continent. This is African Voices Changemakers.
Jaggery Chanda and Otim Alpha are telling Africa's rich story, one beat at a time.
You can't put boundaries on music. It's a spiritual thing.
African Voices Changemakers on CNN.
I'm Kylie Atwood at the State Department, and this is CNN.
How do we connect you with stories from around the globe? We examine big ideas in all the details. Join me for Connect the World, Becky Anderson.
Weekdays on CNN.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
I think one of the reasons why Superman has endured for so many generations is because he gives us hope. He believes in the power of people. He loves people so much and is so curious about them that even though he could live anywhere, I mean, he's an alien, he could do anything and be anywhere, he chooses to walk among them as Clark Kent. And he inspires community and courage and loyalty and the fact that when we all work together, we can accomplish a lot. And so I feel like we need that perhaps now more than ever.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People are going to die.
There they come.
Get your cameras ready.
There it is.
Wow. That's a fun.
Every single species play a very important role in the whole ecosystem. Why wouldn't we want our children to fall in love with nature? We don't have much years to make a difference.
Military, coaching, pollution, we need to fix that.
Epidemic with done, we still have a wonderful natural component.
Don't give up. Let's do it. You can make it. For the people, help and solve.
That wasn't you. Even the skinny dipping and the...
In a divided America, where do I fit?
You tell me, ask your partner.
Abby Phillip brings all sides to the table.
Can you name one thing you do just
The hypocrisy is so rank, folks at home. Classes in session.
To talk about the issue,
Congresswoman, it is false. The answer is zero.
the policies,
What is the Democratic Party about? Can you answer that question?
and the biggest debates to wrap up your day.
I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
News Night with Abby Phillip tonight on CNN.
Celebrating 5 years of connecting Africa with a special show in Nigeria.
For reflections on where we've been,
COVID-19 was a wake-up call.
to the young people transforming its future.
We have $11 billion worth of assets under our protection.
We've witnessed the biggest deals and innovation in business across Africa. Join us as we look back at the stories driving the continent forward.
Connecting Africa, only on CNN, in association with Afrexim Bank.
Welcome back. Rescuers are combing through the rubble of a 9-story building in Kyiv, searching for survivors After a
We
new
did it,
Russian
Joe. We did
More than 2
it.
dozen sites were hit in the Ukrainian capital overnight, and local officials say a 6-year-old boy and his mother were among the at least 6 people killed. Officials say the targets included an apartment building which took the direct hit. Rescue crews are now searching through the rubble for survivors and say they've made contact with at least one person who's trapped underneath. Well, on the front lines, Russia has been making piecemeal advances for months, but its summer offensive is now shifting into high gear. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh went to Ukraine's Donetsk region and saw firsthand how quickly the territory is changing hands.
After dusk, the war has fallen silent, but got deadlier. This tiny military medical unit near the town of Pokrovsk, which Russia is close to encircling, is waiting for patients. In total dark.
People up there, but they're like telling everyone.
Quiet, just for survival. That bright light, we're told, is a Russian spotter drone. And look at how their other attack drones riddle the dark. The first warning is gunfire. Ukrainians aiming at Russian drones.
We just have to keep every kind of light source or heat source indoors in case Russian drones are passing overhead, and that makes it impossible, frankly, to go outside for this unit to welcome in the wounded. Instead, listening to the eerie noises in the dark, trying to work out what's a threat and what's not. But imagine how hard it must be for those actually at the front lines, trying to bring wounded out with constant drones above them.
Well, that one landed so close. You can actually smell the explosive now in the night air. The medics tell us this is a quiet night in the skies, but no injured here is no relief.
The fact that you haven't had patients tonight isn't necessarily a good thing. It might mean they can't get out.
Yes, it's true, because очень часто нам сообщают, что есть.
Is it Keisha? Is it Ashley? Was it Danny? Is it Party? Where's the function? Where the fuck the function? Where the fuck the function? Baby girl. Baby girl. Baby girl. Baby girl, let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl. Take a dance in the club with your homegirl. Take a pic for the gram, show the whole world. Yeah, is that your bestie? I'm a high school, we all.
Раненая, да, но проведена эвакуация. Либо за ними могла поехать машина, и она была бы подбита, как я говорю. Так что даже бронированная техника не гарантирует то, что будет произведена своевременная эвакуация.
Got pretty much everything in here.
Dawn is when the injured usually come, when the changing light disrupts drone cameras. But the only patients, 6 men with suspected concussion after their vehicle was hit by a drone on the road. Drove straight here. Some of the badly wounded trapped, as this video shows. Ukrainian wounded evacuated here 2 days earlier by police from the front line. Their injuries infected after the long wait. Daylight doesn't stop the hunt. We rush to our car to leave. But there's a problem. 2 elderly locals hear the noise. One runs and the other braves it out.
So our car won't start, and we just noticed locals running away from a drone. And so we're trying to get out of here as quickly as we can.
Our vehicle is under a tree, but SUVs are a priority target. we managed to go. The need to leave when you have to abandon your life is constantly creeping up on people here. This is Dobropilya, where yesterday the normal bus service ran, but today it's cancelled and the way out is with the police in an armoured van. The drones are closing in fast. Katya explains she and her baby son truly have nowhere to go, no plan for what's next. It's happened that fast. Days before, Russian drones struck many civilian targets like this coffee shop. But every day, the map of where police can go is changing. This is Belitsky, aflame, Russian troops on its edges. Police taking out those who, like many here, simply didn't see.
Through the fire hydrant while my bro is knocked out. Through the fire hydrant while my bro
changing so fast. As they leave, they use this device to intercept Russian drone signals and recognize that one is flying above the same road they are on. But the escape options are shrinking. Ukraine normally catches Moscow off guard, but now Russia's summer offensive is shifting the ground beneath their feet, perhaps irreversibly. Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, near Pokrovsk.
There you go. Keep stroking. You almost there. See? Tell me you can't swim. Come on.
Still to come, Senate Democrats aren't letting the White House forget about the Epstein files. We'll tell you their latest move to try and force the release of more information. Plus, a popular online gamer says she was targeted in a terrifying home invasion because of her cryptocurrency investments. That story next.
All right, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. But I will see y'all later. It's already Thursday. So I will see y'all same time, same place. Oh, wow, it's Thursday. Yeah. Okay.
VCRs are extinct.
Definitely earlier
and old
than
photos are fragile.
tonight.
Old formats
So
won't last, but legacy boxes
it won't be
professionally digitized,
like
easy to stream,
10:30ish.
and ready to share. Join the millions
Hope
of fans
not.
who have trusted legacy boxes.
Yeah, have a good night and see y'all tomorrow.